getting warmed up.
This pleases me to know. Dire's ban.
Apart from Clockwork.
In the support duo
10
role for
seconds to
Beastcoast,
go.
I'm looking for more Enchantress, Dark Willow. The combination with
5
these two
seconds.
heroes, they have not been
Radiant's
defeated
ban.
yet. They have 80% out of 5 games with Dark Willow in general, so they
Radiant's
play that hero
ban.
really well. I would
Dire's
also not
ban.
be surprised if they go like with Pango relatively early on, because this
Radiant's
hero,
ban.
like at least from my point
banned.
of view, it,
Spoiler.
Okay,
not
spoiler.
Not too much, though.
Never mind, got banned. But I wanted just to point out that this hero,
10 seconds
after the
to
recent
go.
changes to Thunderbolt facet, feels really good to play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I
5
didn't think
seconds.
Pango was quite there yet as
No.
enough to ban, right? It's been good enough to pick, but
Radiant's
most people have been
ban.
like, okay, we're not gonna ban him, but they're giving the respect it deserves now at this point, and just gonna go ahead and ban that one out, which is, it's changing the whole landscape of
10
like the drafting
seconds to
scene right now,
go.
because it's getting very difficult to know what teams are going to first pick, because some have a high priority on certain heroes. Like Clockwork is really popular this tournament.
10
It's doing
seconds
incredibly
to go.
well, to the point where it gets into the game all the time because people don't think it's worth a ban.
5
But
seconds.
when it does get picked up, it's winning most of its games as well. So it's very much so a situation where we're seeing lots of new heroes, lots of strong heroes, and teams aren't entirely sure what the best bans are quite yet, so they're cycling through the ones that they have.
Unlike TI, where we had pretty much a set meta with these Tusks, with these like who's going to get the Wind Ranger, some Maranas earlier in the draft, Omni Knight if he was still available. But we have seen Omni Knight getting through a lot of the times, and people are still not picking the hero. You might see some pairing with Luna here and there, but yeah, people are still trying to figure out the meta and what's really good on the first pick, what's really good like on the second pick.
Yeah, Beastcoast have first pick. They've been going a lot for
Radiant's
Enchantress
pick.
in the past, but they're just going to go for the Dark Willow, who's available here. And I think the Enchantress has been having some issues for Beastcoast in particular. Like, it's okay some games, but other games it's like, well, I wish Moose was playing a hero that can just do a little bit more in the team fights.
10
Sorry, I,
seconds
think
to go.
I don't know who that is. Someone heard that somewhere, so there was a crackle. Yeah, Dark
seconds.
Willow, I mean, obviously just a very strong opening pick. We've talked about what a good laning support she is ultimately.
Yeah, brings a lot to the table. Dark Willow will always give you damage, give you control, a good way to synergize with a lot of these heroes that are popular right now, with Pucks, with Mars, so you will have combo with Terrorize to break the coil, bump them into the arena, and also, a lot of the times you would see Dark Willow just solo kill. If she survives long enough, and still has Bedlam available, she will solo kill pretty much any hero later on with her newer facet, the one that has been popular lately.
Yeah, and for Azure Ray, they're actually taking a lot of time thinking about this one. They do like Primal Beast a lot. There is no Clock in the pool right now, so if they wanted to take that and ban Clock, that could be something that is fairly comfortable for them. But that hero slipped through the cracks as well, the Bristleback. This hero is incredibly strong, as we saw yesterday as Smiling Knight played it in the carry position in that long 60-minute game. But even as an offlaner, which I think is its typical position, it does the same thing basically.
Yeah.
You build the same items, you
10
play as a carry,
seconds to
you're
go.
just in the offlane, you do stacks. Sometimes your laning stage goes well, just in case it doesn't.
seconds.
You have a fallback plan, and then the other flex is it can be a carry. So early pick Bristleback has been rising in stock here just because of the flexibility it does offer.
And support Bristleback, not
Of course,
Stonks. Yeah,
yes.
down, mudded.
Definitely down. I do prefer Bristle as a position 3 compared to position 1, because you can still have like, after all, you're still building into pretty much the same items. You might buy an extra aura from the off lane, but you're still going to be that annoying guy that is almost unkillable, and you're also forcing enemy team to pick certain heroes that, like, you're changing itemization. They will need to go for Silver Edge, maybe throw in a casual Viper, or try to find some kind of a break mechanic that is going to deal with that Bristleback. So putting a lot of
10
pressure
seconds
onto
to
the enemy
go.
team in terms of, you might have a certain idea how to approach a draft,
5
and then they pick
seconds.
Bristleback, and suddenly you need to change everything. Every preparation that you have, you need to change all the heroes, because this is going to be a big issue. Every single time you watch this hero being played, you need to bring extra heroes to be able to kill him.
Radiant's ban.
Yeah, speaking of preparation, you can't be prepared for this. This is Azure's first Bristleback pick of the tournament.
Yep.
So they came out with some homework, and they're like, okay, we need to play some new heroes. They could bring out the Bristleback, and there's a chance. Beastcoast,
Radiant's
yesterday, they're like,
pick.
okay, let's do our
Dire's
research. And,
pick.
they don't play Bristleback, right? There's a lot of data, but it is going to come out, and they're going to bring Pugna into the lineup. Another hero that I have not been super impressed with in this particular patch, but I get the idea behind it where, okay, you have Bristleback, you have Pugna, you can drop the ward in the team fights, and you can just heal your Bristle if they go on them, make them even more unkillable. I just hope they don't fall into literally the mouse trap where they just pick this Bristleback with 0 stuns, and then all of a sudden you just rat them the whole game and dodge them, and it's really hard.
They did have one of the worst drafts that we've seen as well from their side. So anything can happen, but I do agree that they need to change things up. Like, you need some kind of stuns, you need some kind of a setup. So that most likely is going to be played from their mid lane. Puck is already gone. There are these other other mid laners that Han likes to play, something that is going to give them more control. I mean, Sanking is still an option. Didn't have the greatest game yesterday, but I also wouldn't mind seeing him play Ember Spirit. He did win that game that he played, and he looked really good. That's going to be later down the line. For now, they need to focus on probably their other position 4. Or do you think this Pugna is going to be played as 4 or 5?
It's hard to say. It can be either, right? It's not a hero we see a lot of. I think in position 4, we see it against particularly like melee position 5s. If that is going to be the case, it's because you're so high move speed, you can just keep right-clicking them and disengaging there. But yeah, either way, if it goes 4 or 5, no idea which one's better in this current meta, because we don't see a lot of Pugna. The one time we did see it was Laylis played it, and he played it as a position 4, mainly for Nouns, and that didn't really work out too well for them. And you're going to see the Storm already taking advantage of the fact that there's 0 stuns in the game. And this is something that you're going to have to address pretty soon here if you are on the side of Azure. You can't just allow them to be in this position. I'd love to see a Lion or something, right? Not really great versus Enchantress in the laning stage, of course not, but you do need that cheap stun that you can use on Storm from a support, ideally.
Yeah, definitely need some control here. We'll see if that's coming up.
And that's going to be it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense too. That is a good stun. You don't typically max the Carapace as much anymore for the stun factor, but it is great versus Enchantress. The Mind Flare will kill her creep instantly, so right train of thought. So I do like the ability that they are addressing the lack of stun issue.
10 seconds to go.
On side of Beastcoast, Storm Spirit picked into Pugna, which you use the zip, you're gonna be healing Pugna all the time throughout the whole zip. So the support duo that I did mention at the start that might be heavily contested, they will go with it again. This is something that they didn't lose a single game with yet, and most of the time for Beastcoast, from the offlane, you have that reliable stun. When Whisper is playing it, if he's playing his Mars, if he's playing, some Magnus, whatever is necessary. Okay, this is very interesting. So they pick up Leshrac after Nyx. Traditionally, Nyx was considered to be one of the best counters to Leshrac, of course. I don't think they would pick it here, but you also have Pugna with Leshrac. And you also have a Yule Scepter buyer for Storm Spirit, because if you lack catch, that's one way to set things up for a Storm Spirit. He zips in, Yule Scepter into Splitter, into follow up Nyx Assassin Stun. So that's a cheap way from dealing with Storm Spirit. If you don't have a hero, you can buy a certain item on a certain hero to be able to counter him.
Yeah, I have to check what these Leshracs are buying, but there has been a phase where it was just Yule's Blink, and it's very all-in, though, right? Because, you have, 900 HP, and you just have to kill them before they kill you, as opposed to, going for... In the past, we'd see more of, the Kaya Sange with Eternal Shroud, Bloodstone builds where you're just super tanky and you run in. And Alchemist, not a huge surprise to see in general in any draft right now. Definitely one of the S-tier carries right now. Gets very farmed, very strong with Enchantress in the lane. This is a matchup where we saw Beastcoast run this exact same lineup against a Slardar Hoodwink, which, Slardar Hoodwink sounds like it should counter it. Didn't stand a chance. Pyke broke every record in the game with this Alchemist, so... If you can't beat it with a Slardar Hoodwink, I'm not sure what chance your Bristleback Nyx lane has against this lane.
10 seconds to go.
I have a hero for Azure if they want to pick it up for Neo. If they want to run this Bristleback as a safe lane, I'm down for good old Night Stalker. I think this hero has a pretty good space in meta right now, good place. You're playing against Storm, you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Alchemist in the first 5 minutes. If you pair him up with Pugna, it also depends.
Right, so just a brief explanation about today's match. And I'm sorry if my voice is not really clear. I'm having a flu right now. And I won't talk a lot because, I'm afraid you will get kind of yucky feeling. Okay, so this is the match Azure versus Beastcoast for Pgl Wallachia 2024 Season 2. And this is the round 5, so let's say that they did badly, then it will be an elimination, of course. Azure and Beastcoast, they ban Shadow Demon, Negasiren, Timber Soul, Invoker, Clockwork, Mars, Underlord, the Beastmaster, and then Pgl, Azure, Pak, Luna, and Do. And we're gonna wait what's the next hero to ban. Meanwhile, Azure, they already picked the Bristleback, Pagnan, Nyx Assassin, and Lesrak. Beastcoast, they have the Dark Willow, Storm Spirit, Enchantress, Alchemist. Oh, okay, so the next one they ban is the Darkseer. And on the side of Beastcoast, they decide to move on with the offlaner Primal Beast. So, well, so far Azure, they don't have any certain hard carry to be picked, the post one. Meanwhile, the Beastcoast, they already have the Alchemist, and I suppose it will be the infamous Storm Spirit mid laner. Well, Beastcoast, it looks somehow a very strong draft, but we really need to recognize that this Alchemist, for a carry, he will need so much farm, even if there is the Grievelded advantage for Alchemist. But still, since Alchemist, he doesn't really deal a lot of damage, he's pretty tanky, but not really that tanky. And that tanky of his is pretty much counterable with the Vessel. So it's not really a good one. Meanwhile, Azure, they move on with the carry Dragon Knight. Between Alchemist and Dragon Knight, both are the STR hero, both are tanky, both are easily countered by even Vessel or Silver Age. But Azure, they have the upper hand to go aggressively with the Nyx Assassin, Pagna, Bristleback, and of course the Lesrak. He can online as soon as possible, even if he doesn't have that kind of ult. Meanwhile, some Spirit, maybe he really needs to stay on the line until he got the ult, because that way he can remobile with the ult again. But in terms of Alchemist, he really needs the gold, he really needs the farm. On Beastcoast side, they have Enchantress, which means that she can really stack a lot with the enchant. So, but I don't really think that this Alchemist draft is advantageous, especially when they know that Azure is playing with Nyx Assassin that can really vendetta all around the globe just to look for the Alchemist. So there should be a lot of covering for Beastcoast. And Lesrak can easily just destroy the tower along with Dragon Knight. So Alchemist, it will be a hard game from, yeah, I guess just early until late game it will be a hard game for Alchemist. So let's say that they are failed to secure on the early game, then Beastcoast, I wonder if they can survive in this game, but let's watch together.
Absolutely. I mean, Fog, I think kind of on the line of what Fit is saying,
100%.
we're going to be looking at this Lesh, right? Is this Lesh going to make it work?
I mean, he has to go crazy, it feels like, right? Their other lanes don't look that great. I feel like this Alchemist has free farm, right? He's versus like this double melee lane. Yeah, they can kill Ench creeps. I don't know. I think Planet has to do some super crazy stuff on Nyx. Or Han has to go ham, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I love this Beastcoast draft. This Alc has complete free farm and Pake. You know, some of these South American players have already showed. If you give them free farm, they're gonna break records, so.
All right, well, I'm going to go get a ham sandwich, and you enjoy the game, guys. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Richard. We certainly will. It should be a fun one indeed in between Beastcoast and Azure Ray. Yeah, let's see how the Lesh works out. We see on his, as we always like to look at the badges at the top, Han, he plays a lot of Lesh.
He does. I mean, it's definitely one of his favorite heroes. It's a hero also that can be very risky because you have to put yourself in dangerous positions in order to always deal that damage. And Han's had some rough games, so we'll have to see overall how he can do, and if they can actually set kind of like this tempo to slow down Alchemist. And I mean, the Storm, maybe they'll be able to slow down in a lot of situations, but I have big concerns about just, slowing down Pig's timings and also just dealing with this Primal Beast, because I think his itemization for Whisper can be pretty natural. I think even a Blade Mail this game can be put into the build. We've seen mostly just the pipe rushes, but Blade Mail versus the Leshrac is phenomenal when you're playing with these super tanky heroes, so...
And what do you sort of think about Azure's final pick? You know, they took themselves a bit of time, it's going right down, you know, the seconds were ticking away. They end up with the Dragon Knight. Do you think this was kind of a last-minute decision, or were there better options? You know, why do you think they ended up with the DK back in the safe lane this game?
I think it is a bit underutilized right now. I think the nerf wasn't that much. You know, it was like 50 cleave range or something. So I think it's a hero that can super scale. It's a hero that can also farm stacks, but it's also someone who can pressure towers. And I think the lane overall could be pretty decent because he has a stun. So, you know, Primal Beast goes on you, you just stun him in place. You don't have to worry as much in some scenarios, but yeah, we'll have to see if it all plays out like that. Because it does not seem like the easiest game. Except for, like, mid lane is the one that should go pretty okay for Han, or good for Han in particular, but yeah, these other lanes don't look the easiest.
Yeah, we'll see how well Lumpy's able to play against this, of course. Does have the remnants ready to slide into him or into those creatures from a distance, so might give him a bit of a better shot against the Lesh than the matchup would have done so in the past.
Yeah, and Lumpy overall, he's been playing very good for me. In comparison to Han too, even in laning phase, he's been spectacular. So maybe he won't even lose this lane. Lumpy might actually just do much better than it used to be, like you said, because you can throw these remnants at him. And yeah, let's see if Planet can cause some type of kind of just weird plays to happen with this Nyx Assassin, because him shutting down an Alkaline, it's not going to happen up there unless there's a huge mistake that comes out from Pagan moves, but it should not happen.
I guess this bottom lane, between the two cores, right, both of these incredibly beefy in this laning stage. I mean, are either of these two going to get sort of damaged at all, or is it just going to be a battle of the supports?
Battle of the supports. Yeah. Whisper will die, that's for sure, as Pugna gets the kill first.
All right, but Whisper gets the kill in return. So, yeah, Pgl gets the kill. It's a first blood. On Beastcoast side of things, though, it is the core getting the kill.
You take a first blood. You're happy. But Whisper's probably happier. And he'll drag the wave off that. Nice move. We'll be able to get that into a better position to go for these aggressive plays. DK should free farm, though.
And looking at this top lane, do you imagine this is going to be somewhere on the map where Azure can bring Pgl on the Pugna early to try and pressure the Alk and go for some sort of aggressive play through the Twin Gate, or is it just very hard to do so with the heroes they have their availability up there?
It's definitely difficult, yeah. I think this is just a lane the Planet has to just pull and do some type of, we were saying, just weird shenanigan kind of stuff. Because they just lack damage. Unless New somehow gets like a lot of goo stacks onto him and just able to get tons of quill stacks, but yeah, it's just unlikely.
So far, the farm up there, not too great for New.
Nope.
Indeed, very little, if any, pressure being put onto the Alchemist.
You can definitely see those stacks being formed early on. Definitely can imagine that the Enchantress can get those going with even a creep. So we already see actually one stack made very early. Oh, these Alchemists just have looked absolutely terrifying when they're left into a position where they're not contested in the lane whatsoever. As we said, Pake breaking records. Planet can actually, so I mean, we're mentioning he has to do maybe some funny stuff. He can actually steal these these stacks that are coming out. Just keeps killing the mana creeps, so it's actually no longer stacked pretty much. So at least he's preventing some farm. He's being a bit annoying, but it's not slowing down the Alchemist at all.
Well, they're trying to mess around with him, but
the Dire might want to mine their top tower.
Not too fussed whatsoever. I guess you knew it was. Will he sort of just continue to just try and be in this position where he's cutting the creep waves?
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. He got the money creep, so he's happy. They were able to get that Lotus, and I think they're gonna. Oh my goodness! I was like, is he gonna get another courier?
I get it.
I'm gonna get another kill down bottom. Pgl winning the trade once again with Almisha a couple of times now, and coming out on top here when the supports go at it bottom.
Spugna's putting a good amount of harassment bottom. We're seeing free farm on the DK. Whisper is getting pressured a good amount because of this.
top lane. New.
Radiant's gone.
Yeah, Pake won't be able to continue to try and finish off the kill with the quill spray stacking up.
The heals are online.
I mean, he has another concoction ready to go. We'll throw it out the way of Planet. Spike Carapace is there, so neither side quite able to push for the kill on this top 2 versus 2.
Lumpy's doing excellent in mid. A little bit of an advantage for Han at the moment, but to be expected. And is it going to be that Yule's build? I'm curious to see what build the Lesh does go. You know, they were asking for the Yules for the setup because it could be a little bit dangerous if they don't have something like that. Otherwise, if they don't have that, they either need to go Blink on DK or the Nyx has to be there for every setup. As top, Pake, they'll find him.
I mean, that's quite the kill to find. Killing off New on the Bristle in this lane.
Definitely not what you want to see.
Yeah, that's, you know, the Alk's going to have a free time for sure. As you say, these heroes currently pressuring, but giving away kills to the Alk as well. It's not great. They've got their eyes on Han in the mid lane, but Pichu is here to help out.
All the supports rotating. Misho.
Pichu's coming in with the body blocks.
Nice body blocks.
Allowing Han to step up. El Misho's looking pretty dead. I mean, once again, Pichu just has his number completely 3 times now.
I like this too. Just keep enabling your Lesh. That's why they have this Pugna pick as well. And it's a Lesh game where he's also very good versus both supports, right? I think that's also what we saw it picked up. Versus Enchantress and Willow, you'll be able to kill them in almost every scenario if you get on top of them with that Edict early. Lumpy. Not quite 6.
Maroon down bottom.
Blood Grenade to slow him down.
They've got the Vortex as well. Lumpy, they'll be able to secure the illusion. Han's going to try and run him down, see if they can get the kill. Lumpy getting burst slow. They can. They're able to take down Lumpy.
Han's still alive.
He's going to live. Planet and Pichu turn towards El Misho. El Misho will be able to survive under the tower, but indeed pushing forward there around the damage of Han, getting the kill, and not even losing his life.
Very good aggressive play forward. The Misanthropy does so much damage early on, even if it's just the 2 points in Edict. Just able to close that gap. Getting the 6 earlier as well, very important. So that lane, now it's started to go quite well, but we're definitely seeing Alk free farm. But DK is also getting pretty much free farm. He's got the level 6 in a second too. The armlet build is excellent this game. I mean, you go at every time on the DKs lately.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
So far, I mean, not a bad start by any means. Even though Alk is that free farm, they're getting good stuff out of these other 2 lanes. It's just going to be what can New get overall in this game as this Bristleback, and what build does he actually want to go for? Is he going to be an aura buyer? Is he just going to be playing for himself? I'll be curious to see what he's going to be going down. Yeah, Whisper, Phase, Soul Ring, and he's got the Blade Milk Hued, so he's going to be that early answer for the Leshrac for the side of Beastcoast as top. New
coming in with a rotation, Lumpy, and moves ready to set up.
Very dead.
To find you again. Yeah, this area of the map proving to be not a safe spot to be in. Down bottom.
Not enough damage for Whisper.
It's Pichu. He's going to run this down. Okay, he doesn't want to chase up to the high ground. Misho will survive.
If they're ever going to look to pressure the Alchemist, it has to be pretty much with the Leshrac. I want to see if Han's going to look to make that early type of move top.
Because as we're seeing, it's not a good spot for New to go to.
No.
Going to that top lane now is going to be almost certainly guaranteed death. We'll see the 8-minute power in. Pichu's able to again make sure that Lumpy doesn't have an easy time grabbing it and takes it away from him.
Just have worries with what New is going to be able to accomplish at all in this game as this Bristleback with such a tough lane and being so far behind moves.
Should be able to get him in.
Very dead.
And turns up to help out.
It's just not fair.
Little bit of a boost of gold for New.
I wanted to see that kill go to the Lesh. I want every kill to go to Han this game so that he can be that answer to the Alchemist early on.
Oh yeah, this Alk, he's getting ahead. You know, Pake coming up to 9 minutes in, already reaching towards a 2k gold advantage over any of the other cores in the game. The Relic is done. So Radiance, it's going to be a very quick one.
He is going to be playing into Nyx, right? So that Carapace always will be useful, at least for the stun versus the Radiance. But is the damage going to be there? It's going to have to be Han. I'm still waiting to see what item he queues up. He hasn't shown us yet what he wants to build down. And we are seeing those stacks being formed in Beastcoast, preparing for the enabling of this Alchemist.
You're gonna clean up some stacks himself.
Planet in a dangerous place.
I'll just try and waste some time. Planet. Not gonna succeed in surviving. Kill for Lumpy.
He's just trying to be, you know, annoying, make moves around, just take these creeps, but does get caught out of position there. Is he going for another? He's going for another kill here.
He might just have this.
He might just have this. This can't happen.
Oh, the Jukes.
He's got another stun in 2. Can't finish him.
I knew Lucky to live there.
Yep. And it's a Blink build, so it's just full aggression from Han. I'm okay with this. I mean, Blink Yules can definitely work, or Blink into just Bloodstone if he wants to play that route. But I do want to see him try to get active. I want to see them try to kill this out.
Now, something needs to happen up here. They can't let Pake continue to have this. Yeah, Radiance, just about 500, 600 gold away. It's going to be like this pre-12-minute Radiance at this rate.
It's a haste run on Han, so he can definitely look to pressure with Max Edict. And here comes the DK too. This is a nice move. Can they get the scout? Planet is not quite 6, and Moose is actually scouting them out.
I should give the information for Pake to get out.
Oh dear.
As long as Pake survives.
6 on Planet. Han really wants him.
And Pake might need further backup coming in. He's got the Chemical Rage.
He got it off. And now Whisper's coming.
Indeed, the backup's arrived. Whisper gets the setup. They'll get the concoction follow-up over towards Han. Big zip forward from Lumpy. Makes the jump over. It's a good stun for Planet to hold the back here. Comes in clutch from Elmisho. Catches the 2 of them. They've killed off Han. They'll chase down Planet. Beastcoast, they were very ready for that move.
Well, we said Han needs to go ham, but maybe a little bit too much there. He felt confident because of the haste. But nice TPs coming in from Whisper in the storm.
Disown that top tower.
They have great reach to be able to catch pretty much every time to back up their allies. So overextensions can get punished quite easily like that. But it's the right idea, you know? It's like I can see what he's going for. He really wants to slow down the Alk, but it ends up hurting quite a bit there.
And there it is, 11-minute Radiance this game for Pake. How do they slow this man down? They got to try with a different approach to the last one.
And the Lesh, now at this point, he's bottom of the cores. He's going to be playing into that Blade Mill of Whisper. Whisper is automatically going to queue up the pipe afterwards too, so the answers will start to be built up. I was checking to see if maybe one of the supports wants to build like Enchantress to go for a Mage Slayer, because that's another reason why we don't really see as much Lesh anymore. The Mage Slayer pipe build just kind of ruins him in most instances. And it's a pretty good Mage Slayer game when they're playing versus that Bristleback too. But I don't know who can actually buy it, so maybe they won't actually have one. But either way, they're going to be able to get the pipe. They're going to have that Blade Mill, which is a great answer for the Lesh early on. And yeah, the stacks. Pake. Being enabled. Lumpy. Under a century. They should just have him here.
Didn't expect that.
Random sentry.
Yep.
Well, not random, because they saw him pick it up, but quote-unquote random.
I mean, for Azure, how do you sort of play around Lowe's Dragon Knight into this Alchemist and the timings that Pake's going to have?
I think he needs to pressure towers. I think they need to use this DK and Pugna to siege towers down early so they can open up the map a bit more so they can look to pressure this Alchemist. The problem is that I feel like Beastcoast can actually contest this tower pressure early if they want to just rotate over. But they do whittle it down pretty quick. The Pugna Blast plus the DK, they should be able to finish it off, but Whisper's here.
Moose is going to try with the setup. But coming in with the follow-up, there's a lot of backups, and they'll be able to turn and try and burst through Whisper instead. They'll be able to do that pretty easily here with the 4 of them, and they'll finish off the tower. So Whisper, maybe not quite expecting them to be that many around the mid.
I mean, that's how they have to play, right? And now you should probably look to play super aggressive. They've got the blink finished on Han, so it's go time. Try to look for these kills. They have good ways to chain stun. Even if one of them does come out, he should be able to follow up with Han. Pake farming another stack.
And you very close to his first time in the Aghanims.
That's true. He's actually recovered very nicely after farming some of these stacks. Big damage.
And trying to find mid boost. He's actually able to juke away from that.
That's surprising that he survives like that. Wow.
And not able to find the opportunities to get the stun onto him. No. Planet, he will find him though. Sneaks up with the Vendetta, finishes off the job.
I mean, not so bad this early game. Even though the Alchemist is obviously zooming forward, they're making these nice moves around to at least try to pressure the map a bit here. But yeah, that Alchemist issue. It will grow faster and faster at this rate. They will have burst, though. That's the cool thing about this Lesh. But I'm worried for Han because it's full-out aggression, and he's going to be very fragile. He needs to have his team behind him in almost every situation. He cannot play too aggressively because he'll just get popped.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Oh, smoke time from the duo on Beast Coast there. The two of them trying to see if they can get someone caught out around this top tower.
He's got the shield rune on Lumpy, too. Feeling confident to dive forward here. Pichu. He's got a glimmer.
Should be able to find him quick and easy.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
And with that, they should have the space to take out the top tier 1 tower here at Beast Coast. Unlikely that Azure's are going to want to send anyone else up to defend that one.
Yeah, Nua's farm, though. He's been able to sit back and get these, yeah, like you said, his Aghanims is finished up, so it could be pretty relevant to burst some of these heroes down. And they have quite a significant amount of that burst. Just will it be enough when this Alchemist has these timings? He's got the Manta finished already.
Bad shape. One last top tower for the Radiant.
Yeah, these crazy timings continuing.
Crazy timings. And yeah, concerns for Han just grow. He's bottom of the cores on this Lesh. Wanted to see him get enabled a bit better. He's 2-1-5 right now. I think he got, he didn't get every single one of these last hits on the kills for the rotations. So not as rich as I think he'd want to be in this game. Bottom, because they get lumpy. Doesn't look like it.
Taking the mid tower.
Radiant's mid tower.
East Coast.
Radiant.
Putting the pressure on now and having Pake at a point where he's ready to turn up.
Guess what's happening?
2,000 HP on him. Lumpy also now has double rune. He has the shield, but it's going to be going away soon, but he has an arcane. And we've seen this every time now in the Storm. They just buy shard 15 minutes. I'm really liking that they do this. I feel like it increases your kill potential in the early game so much if you do find even like a 1-2 rotation. 1 or 2 hero rotation to find somebody. Rather than being that like third hero. It helps a lot. They do have this nice ward bottom on the side of Azure. This could be something that they can use to maybe catch Pake. It's a tough kill because of how tanky it is at this point, but if they can use that information to isolate him, it'd be huge.
Oh, it's going to be so hard because once he's got the BKB...
They need to get him before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azure getting the movement over towards the tier 2 top.
Beat down.
Beast Coast, they'll probably look to take the fight if they're aware of it, but the jump's going to be there from Han.
Whisper's in.
And Whisper going to swing across. Question if he wants to fight back. They do. But the Vortex onto Han. It's still hard with the 4 of Azure here.
No TP on Pake. Not wanting to commit for the fight fully. Still 14 seconds left on his. Can they keep poking this tower? They might just be able to. The glyph is still on cooldown up top for about 20 seconds, so they can keep poking this one. They could bring it down. Have to be careful how they commit forward, though. Beastcoast is going to look to defend this one. Lumpy. Just watching him hit these creeps, stack these camps. She misses that one.
Pumpy. He knows when you're on the front. Highly likely there's a lot behind him. Plan it.
Can they get
for the setup? They do.
Nice.
Planet gets a beautiful opening. They get the finishing touch, and then Han. He's looking towards moves.
Can they disengage? Han in a dangerous spot.
He's coming in, and he's just going to walk up and completely destroy Han. And now with Whisper coming crashing through the midst of it all, they can maybe set up for Pake to be able to chase down more. They look towards News, able to turn with the quill spray. Pake actually taking a lot of damage from that.
He's got the Manta.
It's the 1-for-1 between the mids.
Hey, they're showing that they can't. They have a lot of bursts, so they can't kill this Alk early on until he has BKB. If they do find him in a stun and they find that chain stun, you can definitely see how they bring these targets down early. Pipe is now finished, though, for Whisper, so it does feel like for Beastcoast, their timings, they're starting to hit a couple of these together to be able to group up and force something, but it's actually Azure who's getting the opportunity maybe to look for this Roche next. This is a heads-up move. I don't know if Beastcoast will know or make it in time. They have the Willow here. He might go for a steal play.
Oh, that would be pretty high.
They're moving over.
Well, they know. Roshan.
Not doing it fast enough.
Azure Ray's heading out of the pit.
Radiant's bottom tower seen better days.
Go for the fight first. Well, smoke up. Whisper. It's going to grab onto New, but there's not really any follow-up damage. New's
They thought they were
perfectly
roasting.
fine.
They just terrorized the roast pit. Whisper.
They're all outside of the pit. And indeed, Whisper's gone. Pake. Gonna step up, but the spike carapace is there. Lumpy jumps across to try and deal with the Nyx assassin first. Planet, he's getting away though. He's able to put the Vendetta retreat for this
DK
Pake.
trouble.
Once the BKB gets on top of low, the DK trying to escape. The Decrepify comes out from Pichu. Another good concoction. Pake is gonna turn it over towards New. He's hitting him in the face here, bringing the bristle back down low. They're turning back in with the Dragon Tail stun. Lumpy's got a bit of mana left to zip over towards low. But the Glimmer's gonna keep him safe. Pake will clean up New.
They're going back in for Pake though.
Han, look at the burst, but the concoction's out. Pake, he gets the kill. He will die at the end of it all. A very bloody fight there for both sides.
This Pugna did so much work. The saves between the Glimmers and Decreps, he actually completely kept low alive. And it was a really awkward start to everything there too. They terrorized and jumped into the pit thinking they were there. Whisper died without getting almost anything off. That was pretty good for Azure. They can show that they can fight versus this super farmed Alchemist as long as they can keep this Pugna alive. I think that Beastcoast needs to prioritize him a little more. The Pugna, that is.
And we'll see again what you said is at the start, where Beastcoast dropping the terrorize in the pit. They didn't have it for the fight.
He dropped everything. He dropped literally his Brambles as well. So they had no spells from the Willow whatsoever inside this entirety of the fight. And then he just dies. So yeah, pretty much not even having the Willow there. Good kiting though. Look at the way they kind of danced around. And I'm just watching Pichu with these little Decrep plays and everything were the big difference maker. Back in action. Low.
Looking for me?
Can he get himself away? He can.
Yeah, they try and chase, but they know that by that time, Azure Ray are going to be there ready to back him up.
Roche is still at half HP, and it is set up on bottom, so it looks like Beastcoast, they'll be the ones to finish it off. But they've closed this gap. I mean, the gold lead is
It's a very close one.
And that's with an Alchemist lineup, so...
Yeah, and of course the Alch is still very farmed. It's just outside of it. The fact that Azure Ray have their other positions in such a good spot.
I mean, these supports are just quite rich. You know, the Nyx Assassin at times tends to have this happen, right? Because he's just a Nyx and he's playing his own game. But yeah, Pichu, I mean, this Pugna. A lot of games, Pichu's been an X factor for this team, with his saving heroes in particular. You remember the Shadow Demon the other day when he was getting these, like, clutch saves? He's making it happen, and he's super high level. You rarely see a 5-position Pugna be level 14 at this point. And that 15 talent, I know Cinderin talked about it yesterday, I believe. That's when you get pretty tanky. You get plus 350 health on that Pugna too, even though you're a support. It's pretty relevant.
These guys are going to try pushing in with this Aegis. Lumpy in position ready to jump in from the side. Azure Ray step up to try and defend. The tier 2's gone. They can swing around, look to keep pushing for more. Han's got the full Bloodstone.
Strong. They're going to smoke with that. It's into the Aegis, though. BKB's about to be done for Lumpy as well. If they can catch him before this BKB comes out, could be a decent fight.
And can they get the jump planet?
Scouting things out.
I'm backing off safely here, Beastcoast. They'll also have easier ways to get into the fight themselves with the Shadow Blade done on Pake.
He wants this Silver Edge. They do feel like they need that answer versus the Bristle. But again, it's not just going to be an easy method of just break him and kill him, because they have to know where the Pugna is. If he gets broken, he's going to get decrepified right afterwards, and they'll have these tools to save. So yeah, they have to find this Pugna, or have the enchant to dispel it in particular. Moose.
Han.
He's got him.
He does indeed. Just
Misho's
jumps forward, kills off our Misho with no difficulty.
Lesh versus Enchantress and Willow. Always going to have these kill potentials alone.
Well, pushing back themselves a bit. Azure Ray. At the bottom tier 1 here with the Dragon form.
Low's starting to hit pretty hard.
Save that bottom tower.
That next item is going to be the big one for him. If he's able to get something like a crit now at this point afterwards on the DK. Could help them have much better sustained damage throughout the fight as well.
And they're looking at Han.
Did blink out.
telling you to throw it.
Lumpy has BKB. They have Aegis. East Coast, they want to fight.
And just very hard to get things going if they don't jump the back lines. And that high sort of awareness that this next assassin almost certainly going to be tripping up their smoke plays, looking to try and get the information first for Azure Ray.
And this is their moment to attempt to take over pretty much everything. They even bought a gem, so they're going pretty in for this play. I think ideally they want Pake's Silver Edge before they do take that fight, but they're looking to at least claim this high ground for the moment. How close is Whisper to Aghanims? He's halfway as well. So that secondary break will come online soon too.
Radiant's toughened up their structures.
Ooh, and Lowe's actually queuing up the MKB instead, so.
Low. He's gonna step up, just gives him a bit of a tickle.
Guess what's happening to Dyer's bottom tower?
Lets them know that he's here. Beastcoast, well, they'll pull back. Only a minute or so left on the Aegis for Lumpy.
I can't believe how even it's built. I mean, in gold, like the entirety of the game. Oh, he's gone!
I think he felt that they left. I mean, pretty tanky. He's able to survive for that pretty easily. He's able to get the BKB off, and now he's ready to turn. Goes over towards Whisper. Whisper puts the blade belt. Will manage to get away. Pake. He's going to turn his efforts maybe towards New with the rest of the BKB trying to run. Pake gets back in with Silver Edge here over towards him with the decrep indeed. Keeping Low safe for now. Pake's trying to stand on top of him. The heals coming out from Pgl over towards New. They'll go towards Hand, but he's healing up with the Bloodstone. The stone catches on the Pake. Lumpy is ready for round 2. The Aegis has been popped. It doesn't matter. He's ready to keep fighting. Lumpy helps to finish off Hand. Zips over towards New. Can he finish the job? Again, Pgl making the lives of these cores of Beastcoast very difficult in how much he's saving his teammates. Can't do enough to save you at the end of it all. Planet's going for the TP out after that whole sort of debacle. They will still be able to chase down Pgl, get him as well. Beastcoast take the fight. Pake gets the double.
They just push forward for a couple saves though, right? These decreps again on the DK. He gets gone on. It's an instant decrep from the low ground. But this time with that Aegis, they're able to persist through. They isolate Han. His Bloodstone wears off and then they can burst him.
Planet.
This is not an easy deal.
Misses the stun Planet. That's going to cost him his life.
Did you see this? He turned the Radiance off. So the Carapace wouldn't be there to get that chain stun. Oh my god, these little plays are insane. I think he was doing that in some of the fights too when his BKB was wearing off. He's just turning the Radiance off just to make sure he doesn't get constantly Carapaced. Little things like that could be the X factor.
I'll check it out again, this point where Low gets jumped. I mean, it's crazily tanky. You know, you got 4 heroes going on him. They didn't get anywhere close to killing him at the start of the fight. And then at this point, honestly, Beastcoast, the way that they split up, it's kind of a miracle that they're able to turn this fight around and actually get the kills off the end of it all.
It's just a great usage of the Aegis, right? They have like 50 seconds left on it, and they know that they need to persist forward for it, and they get these great kills. Whisper sacrificed himself pretty hard just to distract the Pugna from getting these saves, so it's a nice move from Whisper, because otherwise maybe they would have been able to protect Han with another Glimmer / decrep and stuff, so. Smoking again. Haste Rune on Lumpy.
They're keeping the pressure up. They know how strong they are around the Alchemist.
Oh,
they're going to get the jump first, though. They're getting initiation over towards Pake needs help. He's able to get the ult off. He's going to consider if he wants to get back in on this. Looking for his target. Does he want to go in with Silver Edge? He doesn't. They'll back away. And they'll just leave moves to die on the back lines. Just the 2 supports to fall. The cores of Beastcoast bail out.
Well, jumping in. Man to dodge.
He's got the BKB and Silver Edge up in a second. And he's just going to go for the TP out.
Good fight. Logo's Blink Dagger. I actually like this. Even though it's not this damage item, you can see the idea of what they want. They want a chain stun and burst the Alk before he can get anything off. And they do have a heavy amount of chain stun if they do get that. With the blink on the Lash, with the blink on the DK, they should be able to follow up. Nice. Soon as Shiva's on the horizon too, which is going to help a lot versus that Alchemist. Cool game plan so far from Azure. Even though, yeah, it's been a consistent slight gold lead for the side of Beastcoast. It feels like it's anybody's game.
They just need that bit more damage really on Beastcoast to get on someone and kill them before the saves come in. Pgl has been doing an excellent job every single time, just prolonging these fights.
They're actually going to go for a nullifier on Whisper. Something you almost, I mean, you'll never see really on a Primal Beast, but they really want something to deal with this pesky Pugna. Been interesting. We'll see if it pays off, because that means he's not going to go for the Ags build or a BKB for himself.
Yeah, he can
put him in a weird spot. I don't know. This is a little weird. Not having a BKB either on the Primal. It's a risky play.
They're going to have the nullifier at least out on Pake for the next fight. Gets rid of the Radiant, splits that up.
That's why I'm like, why is Whisper going for it? Maybe Whisper will just go BKB.
They're going to jump on Lumpy. Lumpy needs help. The fear will come out. Now Pake's ready to step up. They get great standing on a walk to two. Then they're in onto hand. They're taking him out low. We'll be able to put the BKB and run. Lumpy's going to turn his attention straight over towards Pichu. Control this Pugna. Force him away from the rest of the team. As Pichu, they'll waste a bit of their time, but not much. He falls.
What a play from Misho.
Immediate moves, yeah, from Beastcoast. And indeed, they turn around what could have been a pretty good start to the fight for Azure.
Just, yeah, they get caught perfectly. The chain stun comes on. They have tons of burst too. Is Whisper actually, I don't think he just goes BKB, right? They have the nullifier.
Yeah, he's switching it back. You're right.
I would hope so. Yeah, good. I was like, that's very strange, but either way. And Pake has his finished up. That's going to allow them to focus fire a lot easier. And Roche, it's 2 minutes. Long spawn. Pake. He definitely has solo kill potential with this Silver Edge, with this Nemesis Curse. Azure has to be careful how they show on these side lanes. He will 100 to 0 anybody in a stun. And Low does need this next damage item after that last fight. He does have the blink and the chain stun, but he's still not having that MKB, that big damage item for himself on the DK.
Just gonna hold this area around the pit.
BKB done now for Whisper, I believe. It's coming on the courier. Now he can BKB and pulverize any target. Like the panel was mentioning, there's no BKB piercing.
Who's he looking to grab? Just holding in position one of the cores, or is he going for Pichu? You want to do on a core?
Yeah, one of the cores.
Not P. He's going to zip in. He's going to get the jump over towards hand on the backline. The concoction to follow. Whisper comes crashing through hand. He gets grabbed. They've been able to take Lesh out at the start of the fight. Now they're ready to look for more. BKB popped by low as he starts to kite it out. Near the backlines. We'll finish off Elmisha with the quill sprays. Lumpy on the high ground. See if they get the vision to set up for anyone else. They'll find Pichu in the trees.
That's a gem. That's a huge kill.
He just picked that up as well.
Yeah, I think literally just came out on the courier before the fight planted.
He tries to turn and burst through Lumpy. He can't. These fights now getting pretty painful for Azure. Beastcoast with some excellent execution.
And Pake just now at this point is starting to get just win after win after win. He kill after kill after kill. 10,000 gold lead on the Alchemist over the DK. He almost has I mean, he's getting close to having that Abyssal soon too. His items are just flying in. And Whisper, with this BKB, yeah, he can just go for any target he wants. Same for the Storm. They have multiple forms of initiation. That's just a bit easier to see than Azure, right? I like this. I mean, Lowe's switching to Daedalus. It feels like he needs a big damage.
They need some crazy sort of damage output. Because we're seeing in these fights, like Low, he can BKB run around, and he does not die, but they can kind of ignore him.
Yeah, he's 0-0 and 5. He's actually yet to die this game. But yeah, his damage is just not really there just yet.
Roshan up.
And, I mean, Han, I understand why he wanted to go for the Shiva's build, but now it's like not having a BKB for him is also a bit sus, because he just can't really walk in, because he's just getting chain stunned and controlled. Difficult. Now Aegis again on the best Aegis carrier in the game.
And Aegis for Lumpy. And Pake, he's very close to having the full Abyssal Blade.
Yeah.
So then, even if there are these BKBs coming out later on for Azure, Pake's still going to be able to get in on top of these heroes and do a crazy amount of damage.
He's getting to the point where he can start, I mean, after this, he can start buying the Ags for his teammates, and he has phenomenal ones. If Whisper doesn't want to buy it, the Storm Spirit as well, too. These two heroes scale massively when they get given Ags as well. So Beastcoast definitely has a clear path to being able to continue scaling. Well, Azure, they need to have some type of fight win soon, or
they really do.
Getting very, very out of control.
For the most part so far this game, it has felt like they're holding on. You know,
It's
they're
just
kind of
holding
cutting
on.
losses in these fights and not losing too much, but they're not really gaining anything. They're slipping further and further behind Azure. They need something big.
I mean, Han is, yeah, he finishes the Shivas, but yeah, it's going to be a risk. We'll have to see if he can survive long enough inside these fights.
And Lumpy just ready. Ready and waiting there, seeing if anyone steps out alone.
And it's really painful that Azure lost that gem before, too. Map control just not going to be there. They kind of have to play on this high ground for an attempt to go.
They're going to try for a jump. It's just going to be a bit of a tease there.
Beastcoast.
Got the brambles out. Who wants to start things? They're trying to step forward. They're going to look. They're waiting for Pichu. Lumpy, patience there as he watches for the partner. Now they'll turn and it's actually immediately. I mean, Pichu, he could get off anything to save him. Pate gets the beacon in the chemical range. They'll deal with the partner ward.
Pate is getting a bit low.
Just have to back away a little bit. Same to be said for Lumpy. Of course, Lumpy's got the luxury of the Aegis. He'll let it go and lose it.
They got the out.
Indeed, that's a big one flying because Lumpy get the cleanup on the second life phase. Back now with the BKB. Trying to zip over towards Pichu, playing around with the Pugna. Decrepify will
Still
go off.
the Pugna.
He's dying to the damage of Han. See if Lumpy can clean up this up. I mean, against the three of the probably not. He has to bail.
This Pugna is surviving. How? Ends up living the whole fight. They jumped into the backline to try to get him.
I mean,
He's
they
still
were
able to
waiting.
survive.
They were waiting to see Pichu, and then Lumpy goes for him. But that gives the rest of Azure the chance to really clean up the fight in their favor against the Aegis that Beastcoast had.
It was definitely a little bit. This was one of the fights that Pake played a little bit weird. He actually BKB'd and spent majority of his time hitting the Nether Ward. So after his BKB ended, he just kind of had to retreat immediately, and they were able to just deal the physical damage from the Bristleback on top of him. So new. It's kind of like he's turning into the carry as this offlaner.
Yeah, we'll see this again.
They see the Pugna, and
They're
want
waiting
to try
for
to
the
go,
Pugna.
but he's playing so well.
The
Pichu.
Pichu.
And then Lumpy makes the jump.
Bottom tower.
And indeed, he just can't deal with it on his own. Lumpy can't do anything about Pichu.
And watch Pig what he does here. And he gets stunned up, and then he just has to BKB and just hit Nether Ward, and then it's like, oh my goodness, my BKB is out. I need to just run away. This pesky Pugna is doing heavy lifting, it feels.
Now back in action, Beastcoast. They've got to be careful about how they go about the next fight. That last one, definitely the beginning of Azure being able to take a decent part away from Beastcoast's lead.
And New's turning into the carry. He's got an AC now finished up, so that's going to help Low decent amount for damage too. And Low does have Daedalus.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Azure, they can be the ones to look for the fight now. That jump up, yeah, BKB going to be done on Han.
I'm just going to keep eyes on Pichu. If they don't deal with this Pugna, I feel like he's going to turn the game.
Oh, after this Pugna's MVP
He's
so
already
far.
been doing it like pretty much in all these fights.
Well, Pake. It's going to start things off to New. New's able to hook the BKB. And New's going to start pushing back at the moves. Just huge damage. Huge damage indeed with the coil spray. Lumpy jumps in over towards Han. They'll try and focus the list. They've got the grab from Whispers. They bring Han down. See if they can deal with New as well. Whisper trampling in on top of him. New cleans up another support, but he will die for this. With the Dragon Tail's done over towards Pake. He's able to put the man to turn with the concoction. Lumpy a little bit of mana to play over to deep Pake. Able to smash into the Nyx Assassin. Get the double. It's just Low and Pichu alive, but they're two pretty tough heroes to deal with.
They were kind of split up there at the start of the fight for Azure. The Pugna wasn't there early enough to be able to get the save, but they also just got the full nullifier throw onto him and were able to finish off that Lesh. Bit split. Beastcoast take advantage of when Azure is not fully in position.
Pake's able to find these heroes like not being buffed up and saved up. He does kill them pretty quickly.
I mean, with the nullifier, right? If he's able to always just get that off and stop them from getting all these saves with the Pugna, it's going to be pretty huge. He's hit 25 too, so now doesn't have the boots, of course, but is able to do this as Alchemist because he has the 25 talent for movement speed. And did Whisper finish the Ags? He did. So Whisper's got that done. He built it for himself.
Solid items being found on the neutral front. We've got the Timeless Relic for the Storm and the Lesh, and that extra bit of damage step up for the DK. Low gets the Ancient Guardians.
It's an important one. I mean, these things do matter. All these small little things of extra damage. Pake has yet to decide which neutral he wants.
Gotcha.
Maybe doesn't have too many good options, or maybe he has too many.
I'm wondering which one he wants. Movement speed would be nice. Mindbreaker would be nice too. Either one of those. Okay, so Havoc Hammer, so more HP.
Of course, when the game sort of slows down, Beastcoast get back to building up the lead. Able to find that a little bit quicker with Pake on the Alchemist. And he's pretty much done with his build. Just wants to refresh it next.
He's actually okay. He does have 5 activatable items and a neutral that's activatable, but it feels like the Aghanims could be very value if he wants to go for it on Lumpy. He wants to play for himself, that's fine. Han does have BKB now. 9 seconds.
This could be a pretty good fight here for Azure. Smoke's coming out. See if they have a good read of where Beastcoast are, though. It's still a minute until we'll see Roshan potentially back up.
At the moment, Pake does not have buyback if they're able to find this Alchemist.
Swinging back over to the mid. Azure.
Whisper got the ascetic cap. That's going to make it really difficult for them to ever chain stun kill him. He should, in theory, get everything off now.
I mean, Low might try. He's going to get the charge. Ascetic cap. The Dragon Tail, but indeed he's going to get the charge once, but Hot BKB turns with the Pulverize onto Low. BKB comes out from Low in return. Whisper charges away.
That's the BKB from the DK. Quite a bit expended. I mean, ascetic cap right there. It's just that status resistance it provides, he'll always be able to get BKB off. They're not going to be able to burst this primal. Not going to be able to chain stun him.
Seems like Beastcoast, they just don't want to do anything until the next Roshan.
No. They also did use the BKB on Whisper, so yeah, playing it careful. Looking to control that bottom side. See how long the spawn's going to be. And Low, he did finish up a Satanic, so a bit more survivability inside these fights. How long's the Roche? God, how many? I feel like we keep getting so many max duration ones.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Lumpy. This could be a catch.
They can jump onto him. Have they got the burst? They do easily.
Nicely done.
The damage from Low, pretty insane. As he's gone, and Lumpy will buy back immediately to try and get back into the fight. Pake puts the beacon. He's trying to focus Low. The heals come out. PG Lumpy jumps in with the vortex drag back on towards the Dragon Knight. It's a crop fight throwing out, trying to save Low. Low, he's getting away. The heals coming in from PG. Concoction thrown down. Lumpy jumps in. Will manage to outdo the heals that PG was providing to bring down Low. They turn towards New. They're going to find all 3 cores. 2 of them without buyback.
Great buyback from Lumpy. I guess he didn't expect them to initially go on him because the DK's BKB was still on cooldown. It was a nice little sneaky play from Azure, but they do lose all 3 cores because of that. All of Beastcoast is able to come in afterwards. And Pake's just doing too much damage. Keeps getting the break hit onto the ideal targets, either breaking that DK or breaking the Bristle. And then they've got the follow-up. Whisper finding the right target. It feels like every time. Han just gets pretty much 100 to 0'd inside the Pulverize.
He dies pretty quick. I mean, Pichu, he can't save everyone.
He cannot. And now the Pulverize lasts even longer. And this Pugn has been doing insane work, but yeah, as you said, there's only one target you can really go for to buff up. These nullifiers are causing that issue, or the nullifier in particular. Rax to fall.
Let's see how much more they can get. They still have time if they want to swing down to the bottom and get that bottom set. Pake's on his way over.
They might clean up almost at least 2 sets here.
They've got the creep wave coming down the mid. They could go for a 3rd. Depends how much respect they want to give, because obviously this is a time where Roshan could potentially be back up. So
I think they'll probably
might
just take the 2. And
yeah, take 2 and set up for Roche.
Because they don't know if it's up or not yet. I didn't see if the Enchantress set the creep.
A big...
Massive win there.
Yeah, big jump up in the lead now for Beastcoast.
A full Shivas now for Lumpy too.
And indeed, I think, you know, Lumpy probably clicked Pake's inventory and said, bro, you got loads of money. Buy me an Aghanims.
And now he queues it up.
So he's like, okay.
It's so
but yeah, I imagine that's where it's going, right? He's buying it for the Storm.
I would imagine so. Whisper has a full refresh here. So we mentioned the lockdown from this Pulverize is going to be insane now.
We're going to try and fight into this. Okay, now that they've got to do something here, Azure, they can't let Beastcoast get the Roshan.
Pake.
Oh, they're going to jump. They're going to try and go for Pate, but Whisper's in with the counterplay. Has to grab on towards low. Comes the BKB, jump forward from Lumpy's looking for Pichu. Pichu has been found on the back line. Pate's here to help out. They take down the Pugna. Lumpy cleans up Planet. The second grab holding in place low once again. As Pate, he did get caught by a stump for now, but now he's ready to continue outputting the damage. And the buybacks are coming out from Azure, but they cannot turn this fight against Beastcoast. As Beastcoast clean up the Nyx Assassin a second time, they get the big kill on low. And as we're seeing now, at this point, they are able to just find Pichu and make sure that Pugna can't play the fight.
Instant jumps. You saw like 3 heroes.
Everything on him.
And Whisper, it's just a full refresher that got picked up right before the fight starts. So he just grabs, DK grabs whichever target he wants twice. And able to burst him down. They're too tanky, and it does feel like Azure has ran out of steam in terms of damage. I'm not seeing these heroes on the side of Beastcoast really take too much.
The only one that really does a lot of is low, but most of the time he's fully controlled in this case by Whisper.
They're also fighting inside the acid spray really nicely. I was trying to follow that one a couple times in these fights, but that extra armor that it gives as well makes it very difficult for them to really bring down these super tanky heroes.
Back in action, he's found you out on the map. Whining now. As him gone for 100, it's really falling apart now for Azure.
Yeah, and that's the Aghanims pick, can give it over to Lumpy. They hung on for a long time this game.
They've really given it a good fight this game, but it has felt that they've just always been playing from behind. And, even if they do indeed lose this game, I feel Pichu, he did so much. He was sort of the biggest threat for Beastcoast. He was saving these team fights, but he couldn't quite save the game. As Beastcoast coming down the mid.
Radiant's mid towers getting.
That's the timings and the way they play around Pate's Alchemist, a little too strong here. As low, they'll try and hold him back, but Lumpy's in with the grab. Is any saving for him? Pichu tried his best with the light train, but the damage has already been done. The Mega Creeps are out for Beastcoast.
Mega Creeps.
Tons of gold to spend.
See if Azure can do anything crazy. Again, it's the Mega Creeps. Dude, what is going on with Enchantress's courier?
What about it?
Am I crazy? Look at it. Going towards the die base. Observer, go.
Wait, what the?
Die tier 3 in the mid. Die tier 4 in the mid.
156
Look at this
HP.
courier.
Wait, what?
What is that? Is this a facet that I didn't read?
Wait, what?
Explain, Fog Julian.
Wait 1 second. Give me brain.
What's going on here?
1 second.
It's got 156 hits you got to do to take this one down.
But it's not healing, so it doesn't really. But why does it have the bonus 150?
I mean, it almost certainly is just a visual bug, but I've never seen that.
Look at the bar of this.
Look at this. It's terrifying.
Someone BKB'd.
Oh. There's Whisper. He looked over at Enchantress's courier and he panicked and slapped the keyboard. He's like, what the heck's going on over there?
I'm trying to think.
What caused this?
Is it that? Oh, it is that. Oh, okay, it's a 20 talent.
Oh.
But that... What?
Wait. But you're right. It definitely is that because it's giving it plus.
Because I'm thinking it's like the Chen thing that used to happen. But yeah, it's
given it plus 150 health, but
armor.
It hasn't given it plus 150 health. So it's like a visual bug, right?
It's got the armor. It's not visual bug. It's there. Whatever.
But the armor doesn't matter, right? Because courier's a number of hits to kill.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But whatever. That is the weirdest.
Look at this courier. They're going to send that in on the front lines in the next fight. Look at this boy. That's a beefy boy.
All right, Azure, what can you do? New has a Daedalus. He's got to do the big deeps on this Bristleback.
The vortex is there. The fall damage rate comes in and they take our hand. Hands got buyback available. I'll see if he uses it low, getting milled up by Pichu, but moves and Lumpy focus down the Pugna. Pichu's out. The support, they don't have buyback. Low is surviving only just finally though. Whisper finishes it off and Hanny brought back for this. They try and throw everything into this final effort of the defense. It does not work out for Azure. GG is called. Beastcoast will close up this game 1.
They fought. They fought hard.
They did.
We've had a couple of these games recently. I feel like they make it to like the 50, 60 minute mark. overall one team does have firm grasp of the game, but yeah, they're making teams work for it. You know, it's not the easiest like just approaches, even though you have this advantage with this Alchemist, you have this huge Primal Beast that's able to grab whoever. You know, these teams are making the other teams work for it.
Alright, so congratulations for Team Beastcoast for winning the first match, the match 1. And yeah, as we already faced that, I really think that Azure, they had the momentum to win, but again, as the Beastcoast, they experienced so many fights that they lost, then they become so aware about the mistake and they fix, and they they also know that the problem on the Azure team is the partner. And then of course when the partner is already shut down, then the victory is almost reached for Team Beastcoast. Ultimately with the Alchemist, and look at this. I don't really see this Aghanim's blessing. Is it coming from the Alchemist or coming from the Roshan? But again, since the Alchemist, since Team Beastcoast, they successfully covered the Alchemist since the mid game and until the late. So Alchemist is freely farmed, and it become a nightmare for Azure. Azure, even if they really secure on the early and mid game with the outstanding performance, but again, it's about the carry, who's gonna carry on the late game. Here, the Dragon Knight is not really a match against Alchemist, especially when it comes to all farm Alchemist, and of course again, there is this, the so-called Silver Age that can destroy the passive from Dragon Knight, the passive from Bristleback, and of course no one really buys Silver Age or Vessel, maybe because it's already nerfed to counter the Alchemist or to counter the Primal Beast and Enchantress. So judging from the item build alone, Beastcoast of victory is already guaranteed.
out in the last one, and obviously we know he can play that hero. He's very comfortable on it. I just like to see him get something where he can have impact. You know, if this is going to be the last game for them potentially, I would like to see Han, you know, have a pop off and kind of like, you know, cement his potential.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I feel like they may have hoped for that with the Leshrac, because Leshrac is definitely one of those heroes where you're either 17-1 or you have like 10 deaths, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're just in and you either kill them or you're dead before you get the stuff off. So that was definitely the case there. And Leshrac isn't like a super popular hero right now. And typically you'll see it against specific heroes, maybe a Timbersaw or something like that, where you need this magic burst. I didn't see why they needed this hero, because like they had their opportunity to pick any pipe carrier they wanted to on that last pick for Whisper, and Leshrac does not enjoy playing into that. So drafting wise, I'm having a hard time following Azure Ray and what their game plan is. And same thing, like you're playing against Pyke, you know how good he is on Alchemist, and your game strategy is to send a double melee lane against that.
Yeah, that was
very
a weird
confusing.
one. Maybe the like whole idea was when we mentioned the support duo, this Dark Willow plus Enchantress. Leshrac is really good against both of these supports. Maybe they overthought that, like, okay, we're gonna have a hard time, because supports did have a hard time early on. Leshrac was pretty much in their faces all the time. Sometimes you struggle killing the Enchantress. Dark Willow finding the right damage on the ground, but yeah, he did a good job killing the supports, but in the end they fell short to get that dub. And now going into the second draft, we do see some of the
back to basics here.
Yep, pretty much.
And obviously they banned the Luna out there, which is, you know, smart if you're going to pick this.
It does leave
10 seconds to
Shadow
go.
Fiend, which has been pretty good against Timber as well. Has Pyke been playing that one? I have it up here. Yeah, he does play it. So he does play the Morta as well. He plays the Morphling. What they're trying to do with this Timber pick, I think, is make sure there's no Alchemist. They identify that as a problem. But he's a good Morph player. He's a good Morta player. And he's a good Shadow Fiend player. Those are three heroes that are also incredibly good versus Timber.
One thing I keep saying in this tournament is, okay, Shadow Fiend doesn't even use one of his abilities. Luna is the other one where you get 1 point in your Lunar Glaives, whatever it's called. And now you also have Alchemist. He put 1 point, second point really later on in Corrosive Weaponry. So what's up with all these heroes, like carry heroes? Yeah, go. Morphling as well, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to see that. I think the way we've been balancing Dota, we were trying to move away from taking the stats. You also can't take stats early on. You can't put, you know, point in stats at level 2. So that's pretty nice. But I also think that some of these abilities need to be fixed. So you take your abilities instead of taking the stats, which is kind of dumb.
The Morphling one's interesting because they kind of entice you to get stats, because this facet literally gives you double the stats.
Yeah, right.
If you pick stats, and that's the reason why a lot of morphs are going for that. But yeah, I agree. Dark Willow, this is a good hero that generally can be quite nice for September Saw. You have that magic burst, you have the control, multiple forms of stun, which is typically what you want for Timber. You want to lock him down so he can't keep going in and out of the fights with the Timber chain. And as per usual, Dark Willow can never be sad about this hero. It's just a classic position 4 right now that secures the lane for their position 4, or position 3, sorry.
They didn't really secure it in the previous game.
I mean, that was
a lot of question marks.
Player error, you know, like El Micho, first game of the day, like he was lagging a little bit, and probably just from not sleeping enough, whatever it might be. But he died a couple times in a row, went mid, pressed W, hit the catapult, fed the Leshrac. I was like, bro. And after that, he woke up. In that top fight, he got the terrorized Bramble on 3 heroes, and that's when Beastcoast really got back into the game.
It can happen to the best of us.
It can, but he owned at the later stages of the game. Mistakes were made early on, which is where you want to make the mistakes compared to, you know, not having buyback or sieging with high ground with double Divine Rapier, as we've seen yesterday. So
I'm trying
to get it out of the system as early as possible.
That was a rough one.
That was too late, unfortunately, for that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, we do have Puck Band and Visage. Visage seems to be like almost just a no-brainer ban nowadays in that second phase. Like, just this hero's strong. If this hero does manage to get off to a good start, it feels like the games just end in 20 minutes. Don't put yourself under that stress. Just ban it out. So I don't dislike that at all. Puck going out as well. And we have one more ban. and they're thinking about it. Probably a support, I would imagine.
Yes, I would mind seeing a support here. For Moose, you see Timbersaw, I would like, because they're one of the few teams that does play Grimstroke. I wouldn't mind seeing either Grimstroke or Tusk, so that you
It's
always have...
interesting, though. You've got a lot of the popular supports have gone.
Yeah.
So, you know,
There's Tusk, I guess.
the Tusk is...
Tusk is there, and the other one is Grimstroke. I would not mention it, but it's a good counter to Timber. So where you silence him, he can't attack if he has his chakram out, which means that he's going to be perma-silenced, or somebody else needs to kill it. Maybe they are thinking about... I was thinking maybe more like Muerta, because they used Earthshaker on planet specifically to counter Muerta in that game, but I guess he played it so well where he can keep the distance, picks up the shard before a Blink Dagger, and he can also control Pagana from the distance so that he doesn't get the drain off.
Yeah, I mean, they also could potentially take Morta later on, and one of the cool things that was changed with Morta during the facet patches is that your innate ability allows you to attack people through Decrepify or ethereal units without having to pop your ult.
Yep.
So you'll always have that ability to do that magic damage, which could be a cool synergy in a way, and potentially the laning stage and just throughout the game. And you have to keep in mind, Morta's still a good hero versus the Timbersaw, so Pyke probably still thinking about picking that hero up, but we'll have to see. You don't want to pick your carry right there. I don't think it's really smart, because there's a lot of supports that you can pick that can deal with
it's coming.
and yeah, we see it Medusa. However, we have seen it, I believe, also on the carry position.
I believe they're undefeated with Medusa. Never mind, that's the IG team. I'm mixing it up.
Planet's only played it so far on +4, but you have to imagine Low can play Medusa. It's not the most complex hero in the world. Almost every carry player, as you're playing pubs, it's a meta for Luna, it's a meta for DK. All these flash farming heroes, I'll say, are in the meta. Medusa has to be on the menu.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling Medusa position 4. I'm just going to throw it out there. And now with the Batrider pick, still can be played as a position 5, but I prefer Batrider to be played from position 4 with the scaling capabilities that you get from the hero, because you're becoming another core, especially if you have a good lane where you get that 10-minute Blink Dagger, suddenly you start to scale. You're playing against the core Batrider from a position 4. Not enough lockdown. We did say that Beastcoast, they always fix that by picking Whisper's hero. His hero pool is pretty big, I would say. None of the offlaners so far have been banned other than Mars and Visage. So still has a lot of heroes you can choose from.
Yeah, so far Centaur has been really good against the Medusa. You just have a 20 base damage discrepancy in the laning stage.
Yeah.
So you get every CS, and if Stone Gaze ever goes off,
you just pop your ult.
Yeah, just stampede away. So that's something they could look out for. Also a very strong laning stage with they're gonna do the Morta right now. That'll probably be their carry, almost certainly. And then the Centaur with it sounds pretty good to me. But any type of get in there stun is what they're looking for, because they have 3 backliners right now. They need a beefy boy to get in there, Sand King, Centaur, whatever it might be.
I'm down for Centaur. I think they just need a reliable stun. From the mid lane, they could also, fix that issue, but I would want to see just Centaur feels so good right now. Not so good against Lasso, but then again, sometimes you just have to suck it up. This is also fine.
Yeah,
I think
he gets in there.
Yeah.
It's not that reliable of a stun, though, so I still want to see that Blink Initiator on top of this, because it fixed a little bit with the Thunderbolts, where you are a bit faster, it's a little bit more reliable. But if your Pango ever has to be your initiator, he likes to make havoc. He's not like, I'm gonna stun, now burst all your damage on top of that hero. So this could be their mid, could be their offlaner. We don't really know. I think that's kind of the beauty of the pick as well. They wanted to have that flex going into that last pick.
If he's the offlaner, he most likely won't take the Thunderbolt.
It depends. We saw that one game where it wasn't taken, but other offlaners like 33 favored it too.
They favored it. Okay.
I just think the Thunderbolt is a bit more greedy for the laning stage, but pays off
late in the team fights. Yeah.
So they will use this opportunity to pick up Alchemist for themselves.
Pause for Dusa.
Or pause for Alchemist. Still keeping the flex open for now, but I would love this Medusa to be played as a position 4, most likely in this one.
You'd love it?
I would not love it, but considering that they just picked Alchemist, I would prefer Alchemist to be played as a core.
Just given the situation, you'd prefer that. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in agreement with that one. I do think probably the better route. I think Alchemist
10
carry right now just
seconds
looks
to
really
go.
good. Alchemist support, it seems to be winning the games that we watch, but
Yeah.
it's not pretty, like, by any means. If you get to that point where you do get the Aghanims to certain heroes, it can be nice. Medusa is one of those heroes in a game like this where the Ags could be really good.
Radiant's
You get a lot of
banned.
mana back from these intelligence heroes like Pugna and Dark Willow, even more to a degree. Will give you a lot of mana back.
So banning out Quap, this meter says that they want to go with Pango on the mid lane and pick up something for Whisper from the off lane.
10
Or,
seconds to go.
Like, there's one hero specifically that could work here, something that Lumpy
5
did
seconds.
play. I would maybe prefer if they had like a different combination of the heroes, but Keeper of the Light, you are playing against Timbersaw, you're playing against Alchemist. This hero comes online super quickly and could
Dire's
put a lot of pressure, but considering that they have like support duo Dark Willow, Pagana, and Muerta as a carry, I would stay away from it. But it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Respect ban on the Leshrac, okay. What other heroes can Han end up picking up?
Okay, so welcome back to the live stream again, and we're gonna watch match 2 between Beastcoast versus Azure with an outstanding performance coming from the Beastcoast. They won the first match, and I wonder if they're gonna make it to 2-0, but let's see. Okay, so far the banned heroes are Shadow Demon, always the Shadow Demon, and then Razor, Clockwork, Puck, Earthshaker, Queen of Painless Rock, also Nagasaron, Enchantress, Luna, Mars, Visage, Doom, and Beastmaster. And there is some significant chance coming from Azure and Beastcoast, of course. So previously Azure, they used the Pagna, but now they use the Alchemist that Beastcoast already used before. Also the Dark Willow from Azure, now Dark Willow is played on Beastcoast side. Alright, so Azure, Beastcoast, El Micho with Dark Willow, Moose with Pagna, Pike Muerta, Whisper Pangolier, and Lumpy Monkey King. Azure, Neo Timbersaw, Planet Medusa, and then the Batrider here, Alchemist 2, and Han Earth Spirit. I wonder why Beastcoast playing Monkey King against an Alchemist. No, against the Timbersaw. And also this is some very rather contradicted pick, because there is a Medusa and Alchemist, so it means like there are two heroes that gonna farm so much. Meanwhile, there is only Batrider and Earth Spirit, or maybe the Timbersaw that gonna make space, and I don't think that there is enough damage from early until mid, because Medusa and Alchemist, they're gonna be farming. But let's say that one of them are not the one that gonna farm, so maybe they can hold a bit. And meanwhile in the Beastcoast, Muerta carry is not really needing the farm, and even with the calling and the ult can really farm very fastly. Well, and there's the Pangolier, Monkey King, Dark Willow, and Pagna again. It will be a disaster for Azure. They are basically just a build in 5-man fight, so let's see.
Wants to just dictate pace and kind of slam. And I think that's something that Beastcoast likes to do a lot, is win lanes and snowball off that. I feel like they have at least 2 lanes that should win on paper. I'm not sure about that off lane. I don't know how that one's going to go in particular with the Pango plus Willow versus the Alch, but that also feels pretty strong to slow down an Alchemist. So it feels like maybe 3 lanes that should be able to kind of win and pressure pretty hard.
So you'd be pretty surprised if this Alch has anywhere close to as good of a start and good of a game as Pake did last game for Beastcoast.
I've also just, you know, I'll flat out say too, I feel like these South American carries lately, especially at this tournament, have just been showing their strength a lot here on these type of heroes that can farm super hard. And Low has just been struggling a bit. Last game, it's not entirely his fault. You know, he had a really hard game, but he got no kills. He ended up with 0. So these supports on Azure, they have to stop taking kills, give it to the cores a little bit more, especially when they're struggling. And let's see what Planet can do on his support Dusa. You know, we saw it have good success one game because it kind of baited terrible fights multiple times from, can't remember what team exactly it was, but it was baiting bad fights. And then it was a horrific Medusa game when he played versus the anti-mage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that good old AM game.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Parker AM, right?
Oh, yeah. That was the domination. Game over at like 5 minutes. It felt like he got like triple kills in lane. So, yeah, let's see how these lanes do end up going down. Because, yeah, they do have a lot of different mixed damage, or a lot of different magical damage and things to go for Pake early on.
Azure hanging around just to see if they could get some early action. I'm going to try and kill off the range creep.
I like that, though. He stops them from blocking the wave. So he should actually be able to keep this out of his tower range. It's going to be close. He does. Heads up play.
He's got it. Yeah, got it in a great spot.
Yep.
To start things off.
And he's next to his Ofrenda, so he gets 15 bonus attack speed right away. But yeah, this mid lane, we have to see how Han does. You know, he's been getting a lot of flack, a lot of criticism. This one, it's a lane that's just incredibly difficult for him.
But can you not, like, sort of kick the Monkey King under the tower? Like, can you outplay him?
In theory, yeah. If you get, like, you kick him under and you get a TP rotation or something like that, sure, but the problem is the denies start to add up. If you walk up and you give him the Jingu, every time he's going to get so many extra denies, and it's going to happen. So, yeah. Won't be easy for Han.
And in terms of the carry choice this game for Beastcoast, what do you think it is about these certain teams that do want to go with the Moeta carry? Because a lot of this is a carry that's very particular to certain teams, right? Lots of teams just do not play Moeta carry.
Pake likes it a lot, though. This is one of his heroes that he likes to play. I think he played it twice this tournament already, so he's good at it. And it's also like this Timbersaw answer, right? This hero, you know, Timber's been pretty insane, I feel like, in this tournament as well. I think people are trying to find more and more answers, and I think the Muerta is one of those that can do super good, because you just do so much damage. It's explosive early. I feel like they actually are going to have 3 winning lanes on.
Well, it's rough. Yeah, mid lane 9 and 6 against the 6 and 1. Those 6 denies already here by Lumpy. They're only going to continue to add up. Top can be a bit volatile, but I do. Yeah, they definitely have set themselves up in a position to snowball the game pretty hard. Because Lumpy, panel said it too. Monkey King, probably one of the best heroes at dominating these melee mids and also at making early rotations if you do get an advantage. So can look to play around those side lanes very easily with the rotations. And do you like that, you know, this game, Beastcoast, you know, they take that Pugna for themselves. They see how much,
like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, he saw what Pichu was doing last game and he was feeling that, you know, that's what you want to be doing yourself as a support. So many saves you can make.
And pretty cool combo with the Muerta, right? You can decrep offensively and stuff, so you can actually allow her to do so much more damage. It's definitely one of these cooler picks.
Not yours.
And this Nether Ward is pretty relevant this game, to be honest, too. A lot of spells are going to be getting spammed just like last time versus either that Timber or even the Dusa that's burning herself. 16 and 12.
It's not going to get any easier for Han.
Nope.
He can occasionally sort of nuke the creeps. Most of the time, Lumpy's been prepping them in a way where he always gets a large amount of denies in before the waves lined up for a blast from a boulder from Han.
And this lane for Nu, it's a ton of magic damage. This is not an easy position for a Timbersaw. Sometimes this hero can just withstand most lanes, but this is just so much burst that comes from a Pugna and from the double spells of the Muerta. And yeah, they're contesting this Alchemist farm.
No breaking down the radiant structures like this.
And Pichu has got the setup on Whisper. Concoction coming in. He's still got a shield crash.
That's a first.
Still dead. Too many stacks.
Takes him down. Let's see if they can get the kill in return. Bramble from El Misho. That's going to be it. So Azure getting away with that.
Nicely done. That's that lane that can be volatile, like we were mentioning from before. So it's perfect that they're able to find that opportunity onto Whisper. Oversteps himself a little bit. Gets caught by, what, 5-6 sticky stacks?
Hand continuing to just be forced away from this mid lane. Has to make the route down there to get the water in and the bouncer in to refuel.
We have seen Earth Spirits recover from pretty bad starters, but this is definitely one of the harder ones, it feels
I feel like we sort of see them recover when they're not getting like the CS, but getting like the gold, but having this amount of denies against you, it's the levels that's going to be the problem.
And Han is, I mean, he's just starting to cut creep waves at this point. He's trying to find any solution to not have to play the lane. But it's not like he's this like primal beast or this Sand King that we've seen sometimes where you do this, you pull it into a neutral camp and you're able to farm that. Earth Spirit can't really do that. Kind of just has to farm this wave, unless he pulls it into like a medium camp maybe. Off to a very hot start. Pig is getting dome bottom.
He should be, unless moves. He is going to be able to bail him out. Comes in, throws down the blast. Azure have to step back. They won't be able to kill off Pake.
They don't have regen for him down here though. They could actually snipe Pake if he's not careful. They're bringing the out.
They're all coming in.
They're bringing 4.
Good dead shot to push back New.
Blood grenade as well.
And the timber chain off the mark, but Pake, indeed, he can't escape this. I mean, you bring in 4 heroes in, you're going to get the kill.
The Radiant's courier.
I can't believe they actually brought 4 though. Like, bringing the Alchemist down here too, it's a bit surprising. They do have the catapult wave, so this is nice to at least put some pressure on it if they keep the catapult alive, but it will die. And we'll come back right to the lane. The Ofrenda is down. Pake is back to farming. Uh-oh. On. He's got backup. He should be fine. Invisibility!
I'm trying to dive in on top.
He got all that CS. So far, not bad for the Alk. 3,600 net worth. It's just the disparity between the mid.
Yeah, it's when he's
600, but Han, he's got magnetized. He could look to make a rotation. They're bringing 4 themselves top. This Alchemist is low.
oh, not quite able to get the angle. Azure know what's up now.
Han is here. He's got magnetized.
Whisper, they're in onto Pichu. See how we try and get the connection with the roll forward. There's Giselle for Almisha.
You pay for what you've done.
Nice, and they gave it to the Alchemist. I was like, please don't take it on a support again.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
4 seconds on Boulder.
Pichu's got to be careful with the amount of damage coming out from Lumpy. The Wukong's down. And if he can line up a good sort of boundary strike, he'll get a decent heal.
He's going down.
It's not enough of a heal to save him.
And they fill Han's bottle as well during it. Nice move. Enabling him again. Pichu on the bat. Having a very good early game. Whisper. Corrosion purchased up, so wanting to reduce the healing of the Alk. Not usually what you see too much now on these Pangos nowadays. I think I saw them both queuing up Corrosion. Yeah, they actually have a Corrosion on Monkey King as well, so doubling down on it.
And you got to imagine that Lumpy will probably look to leave the lane soon and try and make some sort of play happen.
Yeah, I would imagine
he's got to want to play aggressive.
Oh, they actually warded the small camp as well too up top, so looking to prevent that Alchemist from farming that extra one. And I think they took the double stack that they had there too. So good contention. Looking to walk in, get this D ward here from El Micho. But yeah, Lumpy not yet rotating. He's got Jingu stacks. That could allow him to rotate. Has to watch out for his trees from getting cut though.
And looks like Whisper this game he wants to rush the defusal.
I think we're seeing it like every time now in the Pangos. So they're back to going Diffu. And he's versus Medusa support too. It's a good game for it. I mean, versus 3 strength cores plus a Medusa does make sense. I saw Lumpy also was queuing it, right? Yeah, both of them. So double Diffu. It's all about early timings and early pressure. That's the way that Beastcoast wants to play.
The top tower.
And it's completely moved up to the top half of the map now, Beastcoast. They've got the whole team here.
They want to control this area versus the Alchemist. So far, the farm for the Alch, it's not bad, but it's not the timing that we're seeing from Pake in the last game. What did he have? He had 10-minute radiance, I think it was?
No, I think it was 11
It was 11?
I think it was like 11 minute, 28 seconds.
Oh, okay. So then it's actually kind of close then. And New does have 7. So this is one thing that they do have is so much magical damage for Pake. So he does have to kind of stay either near the team or just very protected in a lot of positions because they will just be able to kill him every time he shows up with this Timber Saw or with the Air Spirit.
Man, it's super vulnerable until the later stages.
All right, carry on.
Takes a fair bit of time to get the Moetch online.
I'll take that.
Even the Decreps, you know, that won't really be the save this game versus this massive amount of magical. Lumpy.
Dire's mid tower.
Both teams have backup coming in around mid.
Bottom towers seen better days.
Beastcoast wants to pressure this tower. They want to keep opening up the map to look to shut down this Alchemist. They put a ward behind it mid. We'll get taken out immediately. Nice sentry from Pichu. Rolling Thunder's online. Planet has to be careful how he shows here. Now he able to stop the push though with one snake. They don't want to dive for him. They're going to slowly push with the Pugna, but it's only a level 4 Pugna.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
That'll help. A regen rune to keep the spam going. We're seeing the stacks be farmed. Got the mud golems. Yeah, you'll have the same timing on that radiance actually. Not too shabby.
Lumpy.
Lumpy.
He's on the move. That's Pichu.
Wake up, girl.
Nice snipe from Almi, should have finished the job. I mean, they're thinking about fighting back, Azure. They roll forward. They've got the Stone Gaze as well. Lumpy's going to get the angle to get the Wukong's command down. Whisper with the Rolling Thunder holding back Han and Yu. Might just have to run it though, Beastcoast. The Magnetize causing issues.
Lumpy's in trouble.
Han keeps it going, roll forward. It gets a decent heal with the Boundless Strike. It's not enough to save him though. Azure collapsing upon him and take Lumpy down.
Tower could use a little help.
They bring 5, but well worth it to be able to kill that and push him out of the jungle. Can they save their mid tower? They're probably just going to deny it here. They just leave it standing. It's going to die to another blast. That's why I thought that they would deny it. But and there it goes.
Dire couldn't hang on to that mid tower.
And with these sort of fights, it definitely feels like we're seeing a Han catching back up to Lumpy.
A lot.
Considering how good of a lane Lumpy obviously had in the Monkey King versus Earthsprint matchup, the gap between them now, it's not that big.
No, not at all. He's completely recovered. His rotations have been nice. This Magnetize it's very annoying. It does tons of damage. It prevents Lumpy from jumping in trees, prevents him from resetting away. Whisper, Diffu is soon getting online. I mean, that's probably when it's going to be the biggest acceleration we see from the side of Beastcoast is when they get these double Diffus. They get the stun.
Oh.
Terrorize off the mark.
Any cute plays you can make here, Pichu?
No.
Radiant's mid tower's coming up.
But they're getting to farm. You know, Alk's getting space to farm. Timber's farming. Even Medusa. We see Planet already has a Pavis finished up.
Bounty.
So doing a good job around the map so far here. Uh-oh, Planet though.
And he's got Han near him.
They might go for Han then.
And Han's got a haste rune and
This is true.
Magnetize.
They're actually not going to go for either yet. Lumpy will just show for the wave.
That's risky now fighting into where they know that the Earth Spirit is Han. He's not afraid of turning. And that's the Radiance done. So yeah, just over a minute slower than what we saw from Pake last game.
Pake had more stacks, I would say, to farm. I think New took some of the stacks.
Yeah, I don't think that, yeah, we didn't see Azure had that same amount of crazy, he was like a quad ancient stack or something that Pake had.
They were taken from New. Yeah, New took a lot of those stacks, so. Night downtime that benefits Azure, right? Feels like they're just getting to sit back farm. They've got the Blade Mail now finished up on this Earth Spirit. As you mentioned, he has the haste rune too. They're ready to fight themselves.
Yeah, hasn't really got a whole lot that he's afraid of at this point. He can almost certainly get away with rolling in and rolling out.
The diffuse are online though. This could be a dangerous fight for the side of Azure Ray.
Dire's mid-tower.
Oh, they put the two of them, they get the fear as well, pushing back the both of them. The Brambles tripping up Han on the way out. He's able to put the Blade Mail. Keeps his magnetized going.
They can't finish off either though.
They'll have to run.
Beautiful double stun, but Planet's just able to disengage with that Stone Gaze nicely. Lumpy now has his defusal. Planet does have to be careful.
They're still on the hunt here, Beast Coast. They're getting in behind the tower. Boundless is going to be off the mark, though.
They want this kill.
They will. They'll roll in with the Rolling Thunder under the tier 2. They'll get the kill. They'll lose Amisha for it. Turn over towards Planet. See if they can make quick work of him with the defusals. They certainly can. Planet's gone, but the lasso's up. Lumpy caught under the tower. He's getting healed up by Moose.
He's got Boundless.
He's jingoing up, and he has the Boundless thumb down the 2 cores as well. As Lumpy kills off Pichu. Gets the Wukong's command off Han. He's that last bit of mana to successfully roll away. Same thing to be said for New with the Timber Chain.
These double defusals are doing work. I'm just looking at Hero's mana pools very quickly inside the fights, and it's just completely down. Playing versus triple strength cores, it's always going to have that merit. Take playing in a very aggressive position up here.
I'll check this out again.
No chemical rage. They knew that they could just dive him.
And this time, you know, Azure, the last few times, they've been able to bring back the team fight and turn things and get good amount of action going their way as well, but didn't happen this time. East Coast item timing, sort of hitting that sweet spot.
Actually a little awkward there. I think if he doesn't lasso immediately there and Han actually kicks him into tower and then they lasso, they might actually have the kill there. So a little bit of anti-synergy from that one. Maybe the Pugna comes in for a save, but either way. Bit of a mistake there. Only that 1k lead with the Alchemist. Mech now finished up on the Pango. Beastcoast just looking to continue accelerating. They're playing fast. Exactly what you want to see versus this Alchemist lineup. He has to go BKB first item. After that Radiance, it feels like, versus these double defusals. Manta won't cut it.
Okay. I mean,
Especially with the pace that they're running at him.
That's going to slow down the farm a little bit.
It will. Absolutely.
But indeed, I guess Low feels it's necessary.
He's feeling that pressure.
Double damage.
PD. Do they have a smoke? They do on El Misho, but they're actually just still positioned up top for this Alchemist. Whisper. Can't threaten. He's holding that chemical rage. How long for Bat to have a blink? He's almost got it done, so that'll help quite a bit on their initiation front. Because right now it seems like for Han, if he rolls in, it's likely that he can just die. So having this secondary one can be pretty nice. But Han yet to die this game. They force the chemical rage.
Oh, they want to go for low. So if they heal for the chemical rage, it's going to be enough to keep him alive. Lumpy jumps in, Wukong's commands down. Low still able to walk this off for the most part. He'll get away back under the safety of the tier 2 tower. The Stone Gaze at the side. I mean, Planet's trying to wrap around. They're trying to close up the escape for Lumpy. They get the stun, they get the kick back under the tower. They'll take Lumpy down.
Nicely done. Planet just finished Solar Crest. Able to buff up his Alchemist at a perfect timing. And Beastcoast, they're trying to pressure there, but actually ends up giving a big kill. Now Alki does have the BKB. So he'll always have the protection in the next go with this finished up versus these Diffus and versus the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, if he has his ult available, it seems at this point they really struggle to kill him.
Especially under a tower. And New now has Pipe. I mean, they're getting quite a bit of timings here. That's going to help a lot. And Pake is farming well, but it's never going to be in the same comparison of that Alchemist until he starts joining the fights. He does have Mjolnir now, so his damage is pretty ridiculous if he turns up on this Muerta. But there's threats, so many of it for him if he does turn up. This blink on Batrider is finished. Pake could just get caught.
Very risky here, walking up. He's getting healed by moves, but still caught in the front of the fight, Lumpy. I mean, Lowe's going to try and run straight over the walls, Moose. He's popping the BKB here, Lowe. Trying to take down this pug that Moose is healing up. Finally gets him. But indeed, Lumpy starting off the fight in a very awkward fashion there, walking up as an Ironwood branch. They just turn and go on him.
That's 4 deaths for this Monkey King that ideally for them wanted to kind of dominate.
And he had such an easy start in the lane.
He is struggling. They just keep, he keeps jumping in. I feel like he thinks he's going to have that damage to bring these targets down, but the over-aggression, it's hurting a lot. This Alk is starting to get out of control.
Radiance.
And they found Page. Look at that, Pichu ready and waiting. There's backup, and in fact, maybe Pate found them. They'll be able to take down Pichu, but indeed, Pate won't get out himself. Pate goes down. The rest of Beastcoast, they'll bail out as Whisper rolls TPs away. Big kills here.
Playing, I like the way that they're responding. Honestly, they're bringing the numbers to every single one of the fights to make sure that this Alchemist continues to be enabled. Very fast moves. Alk shows bottom. No BKB available. Has Chemical Rage, but definitely has to be careful in this position.
This'll come in handy.
The Ofrenda, he's pinging it. So maybe he's looking to set up a gank here, but I think they're actually ganking him.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
Chemical Rage is out.
He is in trouble.
He's not getting any backup.
That was...
Nobody was anywhere close. Oh no, nobody even tried to get anywhere close.
He was pinging too. He's like, oh, the friend is here. Like, if I get help, I can go. But he just kind of ganked himself.
That's a rough one.
I mean, he doesn't know that they have that vision, that ward that they have in the lane, right? Moose, that he was able to place it down earlier. That is a rough one. That's going to slow down a lot of momentum for Azure, right? And one of the carries, or one of the cores did get the last hit, so we did see Lumpy able to get that one. So Pinata pops. That's a pretty big mistake.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
Now, at least for the rest of the cores on Azure are farming up pretty well. Mid lane, Whisper gets himself a freebie as he catches Pichu on the stairs.
The stairs are the nightmare playing versus Pango. Yeah, that death really hurt.
That slowed his game down
so much. He was having such a good one, and then, I mean, he's got Blink. Still can look to play aggressive and look to respond, but yeah, that one, not the ideal.
If Pate can get the BKB online, that's going to be the point where he turns up, and
then he can stand his ground.
It's the lasso and the stone gaze. They've got to try and play around those two options. If they don't, this Moet is going to do a lot of damage.
And she has the buff up now too. I believe the Solar Crest is finished from El Misho, so yeah, she absolutely will. BKBs are going to be pretty huge when Beastcoast is able to get those. Azure still looking to...
Are the players loading in? They're all loading in. Oh, it should be good. Everyone's back in. We'll just make sure that everything's good before we resume play.
So far, Azure Ray responding nicely.
I think we're good.
Definitely don't want to see them make that type of mistake again, right? The Alk, that one really slowed down his game. Definitely going to give a bigger opportunity for Beastcoast in these next few moments. They said go. No one said anything else, though.
Very good. Yeah, there we go. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on with the action.
Oh, and kick the cable.
Slacks.
What can they find here? Oh, he has stunned himself.
He'll get away with it. They don't bring any immediate TPs in. They're focused elsewhere. Beastcoast cleaning up the Tormentor.
Imagine they weren't doing Tormentor there. That could have been an opportunity for them to catch him. That was a bit scary there. Who gets it? Misho does. It's a good shard. They did so much work with their Willow last game too. He actually was controlling so much inside of these fights. Given a free shard, it's definitely...
Yes, I just did that.
keeping up his pace. We're gonna have some pretty explosive mid-game team fights. It feels like we're really setting up for that here.
And who's going for the Muerta? Is it just going to be down to Pichu getting the jump with the lasso, or Han just trying to get that opening and stopping them from being able to get the BKB off, get the roll into follow up from low with the concoction?
Earth Spirit should go for Pugna and the back.
Sure, yeah, you can't forget the Pugna.
But then the Bat Rider, yeah, absolutely, you go for the Muerta. Timber and Bat ideally want to just be able to jump her because they have all that damage. Al can kind of go for whatever targets in front of him. If they get the catch, then of course he can focus fire the Muerta, but could be a bit difficult. They have to see the Pugna though, because I don't want to see, even though they did end up they didn't end up winning with the Pugna that last game. The amount of work that Pichu was able to do is crazy, and we haven't seen that yet from Moose, but we haven't seen like a big kind of kickoff team fight just yet. They are having trouble connecting.
Uh-oh. Looks like some ping issues, unfortunately. Like keep.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that's...
They said Kale, so it must... If they start to slow down the game too much, I definitely have some concerns for them because of the triple scaling cores on the side of Beastcoast. Alchemist is farmed, but can't just sit back and farm this game. They have to be proactive with these blinks. And they're about to get an amplified damage rune as well. They are. So Azure. And I think, does Han actually have, let me check really quick. Does Han have his BKB done? I think he might. He does. Okay. I mean, he's actually had, this is, I think, one of the better games that I've seen from Han when he's had a when he was up against this lane. Monkey King, Lumpy in mid, and absolutely, Han picking it back up. And they've got Philosopher's Stone too, so he's getting that scaling. Definitely hurts his right-clicking, but you're not really doing that much anyway, even though you have the damage talent you want to. And let's see. Good now. Is there... It's all fixed. Yep. I just got the confirmation from Slacks that everything's fine. Okay. So if it's not, you know where to send your messages. BKB is done on Lumpy. Scan did come out. They caught right on top of Azure, so they know their positioning. They want to try to invade and catch Pake before BKB. They have this double BKB timing for the side of Azure, but yeah, they'll just have to back up and deal with the lanes at the moment. Pake, of course, did get Grove Bow. All thing is right in the world. Oh, here we go. There's a smoke on smoke. This could absolutely go both ways, this fight. If they can catch Pake right now, it'd be perfect, because it's literally right before he has the BKB. But they're going to smoke up themselves. Super tense moments. That Roche, it looks like it's going to be pinged out. It looks like that might be the choice for the side of Beastcoast. To force a fight around that area. Get an Aegis potentially onto Pake. Jure's not really set up for this Roche.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
They're going to start TPing down in mass. Does everyone have one available? Alex going through the portal, so yeah. But they're setting up for the Alpha. He's going to have the Curse Crown on him. They turn as well with the Life Drain. They point it down low. He finally gets the BKB off, but he's having a run. Or at least step back for now. Lumpy pops his own BKB. No BKB Alchemist. Same for the Monkey King, though. True. He's got Wukong's ready. What's Chemical Rage also going down. Azure looking to reset positioning here. Do they want to go again?
We'll have to magnetize.
Chemical Rage back up in 20. How long for Pig for his BKB? It's coming on the courier.
It's on its way.
And they've got 15 talent on the Monkey King. They might look to resmoke and go. Even though the BKB on the Monkey King is a bit of a concern that it's on cooldown, they're looking for this catch. King scouting. They found the bat.
Straight in they go. Then in towards Pichu. They're going to find him easily in the rolling thunder. Beautifully over to the side. Ham will get the BKB off. A Planet. He's out of mana. He's going to get forced out of the side of the fight. Over towards the pit. New being focused by Pake. Will Timber Chain out to the side. But the pushback from Pake causes both cores to have to head to the left.
Lumpy's still alive.
He's caught in the corner. Lumpy stands his ground against him. Builds up the Jingu. Takes Ham down. It's just New and Low really here that have to somehow find their way out. New was trying to get out, gets bounced down to the low ground there by the Roshan.
Planet isolated.
Lumpy and Pake, they're moving over for him. Planet's out of mana. It's going to be another kill for Beastcoast. I mean, Low and New, they're still trying to find something. But Pake's strong. He's got the ult to the ready. He's ready to start bringing in the damage. New gets shot down. Low, he has to BKB TP out. And Beastcoast.
A buyback from the bat as well.
Indeed, taking essentially 5 heroes down there with the bat dying twice. Only Low getting out. That was a messy fight.
A beautiful fight overall from Beastcoast, just able to dance and kite them around. I mean, they got the initial catch, and then Whisper's able to just pick his targets rolling through. They got so split up, and they couldn't actually bring Lumpy down when his BKB was on cooldown. That was a Monkey King with no BKB, and they couldn't kill him. Uh-oh.
And we saw sort of how much Pake is going to do as this game continues to go on. As soon as the Pierce the Veils pop to the end, insane amounts of damage. He's closing that gap between him and Low. You know, Low had a pretty decent start on the Alchemist, but at this point, it's just having about a 2.5k lead against this Muerta. It doesn't feel like a big enough gap. Now, Muerta's close behind.
Next fight will be the pretty massive one. If Azure does not have success, this game is going to just spiral out of control very fast. Muerta's damage is insane now.
Excellent.
And they've got their BKBs at the ready again. They can set up for that Roche top, and you have to fight this on the side of Azure, right? You need to get a good initiation with these blinks.
They can go for the Roche. Azure
Gonna die fast.
What's the plan?
Dead way too fast. Uh-oh.
I don't think they want to fight now, Azure.
They both have wards down. They both have full information. Lumpy.
They know exactly where they are.
Top tower's taking hits.
Han. He got the roll during the fear.
Yeah, that looked kind of funky.
Tower's in bad shape.
Pichu.
Look at the jump on Pake. You can see the conversion in the once. He's still alive. Finally goes down, but the Wukong's commands out in response to Pake. He's going to be back for round 2. The moment thunder from Whisper continues straight over towards Han. Han falling low. Whisper going to chase him down. Han will fall. I mean, Azure, they tried to fight this. It was a rough call to make. The Boundless strike down to 2. The Pake's got the BKB ready to continue the cleanup. Planet caught by the Cursed Crown. They tried to fight it, folks.
It was a desperate move.
It really was.
It's into that Aegis. They try to go for Pig, but yeah, it's not just him who's doing all this damage either. Yes, he's doing explosive, but Whisper is doing a ton as well. Same for Lumpy. They've run out of steam, it feels like.
They're now 8k behind. This game, it felt like it slipped away pretty quickly. Like the start was solid from Azure.
That bottom death on Alchemist, I feel like really slowed down all the momentum that they had going.
And the fact that this was a game that, you know, Lumpy got this great start in the mid, but then Ham was absolutely coming back into it. And now suddenly, just like that, you see it there. You know, they were starting to lead this game towards their favor, Azure, but those last few minutes, it is all Beastcoast.
I mean, overall, I would say, like, even in the last game we were seeing, Beastcoast just better at team fighting. Better with the spellcasting across the board. And that was, I mean, this was another, it was a timing that was hit from Azure too. The nullifier picked up, but yeah, it was into Aegis, so just... It was sad. Definitely sad.
Next fight, yeah, I don't know how they do it against Pake. This Muerta, massive.
They have to... I mean, if they can just burst again when there's no Aegis, that is the ideal. So if they can full commit, it can be decent. But yeah, like we said, it's not him that's the only problem. Whisper has an Aghanim's now too. He is dealing a crazy amount of damage, so is Lumpy. So yeah, it's 3 cores in a way. Those 3 super carries are going to scale that much harder. They're setting up for the fight again. They'll find a freebie. Can they turn it into more?
Radiant's top tower is taking hits.
We've got 40 seconds, no Pugna.
Well, they need to try.
So many pings. Positioning for this bottom rune. Lumpy. Got the lasso.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Trying to catch Whisper.
That's a lot of damage. Whisper. He's getting the shield crash off. He's going to be able to roll away. Whisper survives, and now he's ready to turn and roll back in. Overlord's new. They've killed off the Timbersaw. BKB comes out from hand, but he has to just back off. Can't get in over the Whisper. Oh, kind of bounces back awkwardly. Whisper will die at the end of it all. Balance out the stone gaze and catches on to Lumpy. He'll put the BKB, but Lowe's running him down. Azure, they make it work.
Whisper with a bit of a mistake there. He bonked backwards off the, I think off of the, what, the little fire thing, whatever, the lamppost thing. That's exactly the fight they needed. Good lasso coming in. Even though it didn't finish him off, it caused this kind of awkward scenario.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Oh, there we go, indeed MVP for the fight for Azure Ray. That little bit of terrain that tripped Whisper up.
Coming apart.
Catch it once again here. I mean, the beginning, it looked like he was dead for sure, but being able to escape them.
The Greaves just really pumping him up, but yeah, at the end of it, they're able to isolate, and Lumpy just standing right next to Whisper gets brought down.
And here it is.
Yeah, that bonk back, that really
caught
hurt.
on the corner there.
Because maybe they could have reset if they have Whisper for a little bit longer, but as you mentioned there too, that Stone Gaze, I think the last second of it, catching Lumpy.
Yeah, just before he's like gonna get the ult successfully out.
Back and forth we go. BKB finished up on new, so will be a bit more survivable also versus that Muerta, versus that big magic damage. Still a chance. Back to that even. I'm waiting to see what Planet does commit for this too. He's had the Greaves queued up for some time. I don't know if he is going to full commit for it though. This Stone Gaze is actually pretty annoying. Planet's like the only player that we've been seeing actually play this Medusa at this tournament, but it's pretty pesky.
Hello. Have a lot of damage coming out next.
He has a full Bloodthorn.
It's coming out, yeah.
That is a lot of gold spent.
A big step up into how much you will be able to do. So there's situations like the last fight where they got the jump on Whisper.
They need
this time he's dead.
Yeah, they want 100 zero target. That's what that says. Right? The Nullifier, the Bloodthorn, they want to catch and just blow up that target on the initial go. But if they don't kill that target on the initial go, it could be problematic. But they should. Beastcoast. Lumpy. They might spot him here. Lotus is out.
He's able to get a Lotus off indeed before the lasso, but he will still die through it. Whisper's going to try with the counterplay, in with the Rolling Thunder, gets the catch onto Han. Do they want to fight this though? BKB is forced out on Han.
Another great initiation. Can't get the BKB off, even if he gets Lotus and they reflect the lasso.
And they didn't commit completely for the fight from Beastcoast because they did not have Pake in position.
Radiant structures must have been fortified.
Sure, Ray. Still showing that they can take these fights if they get these good initiations.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart. Radiant's mid tower.
And overall, with this gem that they were able to steal earlier from that last fight too, they're controlling all the vision. Blink also on new, so they've got that instant follow-up every time if they do get the lasso. And the Greaves are purchased.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Beastcoast, they're gonna look for the fight themselves. They have to not get initiated on. They have to start the fight.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Shield rune though on Han could be problematic too. And Lasso's actually back up in 2 seconds. So you're right, they're ready to fight around here.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Planet.
Tower's gone. Whisper's teasing around with the Rolling Thunder, but Planet does not seem scared at all. The Brambles there.
Last on the back.
They go straight for the easy kill. Get rid of Almisha. Rolling Thunder coming in from Whisper. Straight over on towards Pichu. They'll find the trade.
Planet's in trouble.
See if we can catch on to Moria. Whisper. Planet pretty much completely out of mana on the Medusa. And to continue the retreat here, Azure Ray, they're not going to get Planet out though. As Planet falls low, watching for the side of the fire, opts to blink away. They have to retreat. No further fight to be had here for Azure.
They can't lasso a support like that. You gotta save the lasso for a core. Puts him into a dangerous position and ends up giving the gem back the way of Beastcoast. Not the initiation that Pichu wanted. It is the initiation that he wanted, I guess, because he chose that target, but not the one that they need. Has to go for one of the bigger targets. Because they blow everything, right? Nullifier, Bloodthorn, everything onto death, so then Beastcoast can just approach the fight a bit easier.
And a convenient roach time if a Beastcoast, if they check this out. It's going to be back up in a couple of seconds. They're in the neighborhood.
They kill it so fast, too, with this Muerta. Whisper now also has a Blink Dagger after that last fight, and he can go for Shard. Or, hey, sorry, he already has the Shard. So he actually can initiate fights a little bit easier on this Pango as well. It's that.
Courtesy of the Radiant.
Playing into this Aegis now.
Azure Ray.
Are they actually looking for this fight?
They did come over. I think, you know, last time around we saw them try and fight a rough fight around the Roshan, but do they really want to do so again?
Muerta putting herself out there. Has the buffs being thrown out. Stun up the mark again.
Oh, they make the jump though. Lumpy straight over towards Pichu. Pichu able to force down to the low ground, but Lumpy past the BKB, stays on towards him. The lasso will come off.
BKB's active.
But Pichu's gone, and now with the Rolling Thunder, Whisper over towards low. Azure Ray, they have to just back off. They do not want anything more from this.
Bit of an awkward jump. If Lumpy's able to get that BKB off as the lasso goes off, he will not die. BKB, though, is on cooldown, so it does have to be a little careful as he shows himself, but has the backup of his team. Big damage continues to grow.
And fighting into the Aegis of Pake seems pretty unattractive here for Azure Ray. But at the same time, you know, she's sitting back. It's just not allowing them to get any further ahead. Pake always that close to the farm that Lowe's getting on his out. And got the setup.
Trying to force the BKB. Can't quite. Good patience coming out. All going to be the initiations. Early Axe that he's going for here. It's a bit interesting.
Who's he getting it for?
Is it for double lassos or is it just for one of these other cores? I hope it's for one of the cores, but
One of the good ones.
okay, it'll be new. So just wanting him to have an easier time of frontlining.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Does definitely sacrifice a bit of his own game.
It does.
I mean,
quite a lot, actually. Now he's behind that.
yeah,
Muerta.
this is now Muerta in top spot this game.
It's interesting that he wanted it this early.
I mean, maybe just feels that it's a game that, you know, the timings aren't as good as he wanted it to be low, so it's kind of down to the other heroes to really pop off.
I mean, my concern is just when they, you know, if they're able to sit back and farm like a nullifier, it can be just completely counteracted.
Lumpy going for that next. It's going to take him a bit of time.
time is fine for Beastcoast, right? They're okay with if the pace of the game does slow down a little bit with this draft. Daedalus soon on the horizon for Pake. 20 talent for Timber is also quite important in this game. So 62% magic resist on him. But Age is still for 90 seconds. Are they going to look to contest it? Feels difficult versus these two lives.
Pichu's looking for the lasso. He's going to go in first.
Gathering info.
On the side. He found Han. They're the Rolling Thunder as well, so they've not damaged. Han's going to get forced back to safety. Pake has gone once.
He's got
just gone.
Up.
Spun. Roll to the side. He's trying to control Pichu, making sure that the back can't get the jump in. Whisper kills up the back.
Stone Gaze.
Is any damage though coming out from Azure? There's not. They have to run
my
back.
goodness.
It's destroyed, shot down by Pake.
They tried to get in front of him to get that stone, but he is Stone Gaze, but there's no follow-up damage.
Just great moves from Whisper again. Rolling Thunder through the midst of the fight, and just, you know, he knew exactly where Pichu was going to be, looking to get a chance to jump in and get some sort of play going. He did not let him do that.
No, they're doing such a good job of covering each other. Literally nobody dies. It's pretty crazy. When it's the initiation that comes from Azure. I mean, the Aegis is a huge problem every time they have it. Their lineup is all about popping that one target, and this just completely stops it.
Yeah, Pake just does insane damage now.
It does. Now, I mean, now the Daedalus is done. That was with just a small crit that last fight. Even without the Pierce of Veil, he's going to shred these targets.
This is the point of the game that you plan to. You know, this is what you go for when you're picking this Murder to carry. 41 minutes in, as slotted up as Pake is.
And just the buffs, right? Even though they do have a nullifier, it's still just, as soon as that nullifier is gone, Solar Crest, Lotus, etc. is thrown onto him. And Misho now does have a Eul's. So that reactive armor, you know, new, it can't just get dispelled. Beastcoast just playing together as a unit, following this Muerto. They know just to make sure, if they can just keep Pake alive during all these fights, he will clean up.
Yeah, he's going to just do unmatched amounts of damage.
Lumpy is getting close to Nullifier also, so yeah, multiple different answers that they're going to have. Versus that reactive.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
Pushing the base still. Difficult, of course, from Beastcoast. I mean, they're just going to play around Aegis, it feels like, every time. That's kind of the ideal for them when they're playing versus this single target initiation plays that Azure has. Level 25 also now has been hit for Pake. Even more damage, Owen. And has gone the route. He does take the neutral and the ascetic cap, so he's gone defensive. He took the other two more aggressive ones at the tier 2 and tier 3, but this one, that's going to be very good versus that initiation kind of thing. Just stop in its tracks with the status resist.
Smoke's coming out for Azure. Yeah,
they can't let them set up for Roshan, right? Like, if they get another Rosh, then I don't know how Azure takes that fight. They have a Hex on new, so they have another way to just be able to pop a target.
Lumpy's about just one creep wave away from having his nullifiers. So if you can get that and rejoin the rest of the team.
Oh, that would have been a value courier.
Yeah, that was it when buying the relic. It will still be a value courier stuck. They get Pake's courier. That would have been. He was still a bit short of the money for the ultimate, but either way, it's going to slow down the Lincoln Sphere.
Misho will get exploded. Pake does get the shard from that Tormentor. This is a pretty big one. He could just lifesteal through some of these fights. They have to 100-0 this Muerta. 8 stacks as well already. So, yeah, a bunch of extra spell lamp, more damage. But some time without that Lincoln's. 3 minutes until that courier will be respawning. And yeah, they're just playing for Roshan, right? Beastcoast, they're going to wait, I imagine, until they can set up for that next one. It's going to be spawning soon. See which side it ends up being at. So Azure, I imagine, yeah, look to take over, at least get some wards down and control the area before they can set up for that Rosh.
Yeah, they have to win this Rosh fight. Otherwise, this game is going to feel very tough.
Smoke is out.
Regeneration.
30 seconds. How long is it going to be? I feel like we've had all long spawns. It's a short one. Planet. In a very dangerous position.
And he's got no one else near him.
Super dead. Can they bail him out with Geogrim and the kick?
Oh my goodness, they are.
All right, just kidding. Not super dead.
Yeah, they were near enough. Planet knew. It's like it doesn't matter.
He's like one hit from death there, too. All right. That's important. I mean, keeping this dude so alive. If he dies there, that could potentially just give him
it's TP back to base to refuel, so he's not going to be able to get down here very easily.
They got the cut on the tree.
They have. Lumpy. They're going to be able to save him. There's not. They got the Lincolns popping the lasso. That's Lumpy dead for 90 seconds.
They can now go for the roast themselves.
Oh, they can.
Oh, Han, that was sick.
All right, they get this Aegis.
This is so important for them.
They can then start getting a push going themselves. It's going to be a rough few minutes for Beastcoast. They've got to be careful.
And the important thing is now, if they do get it, they're just then preventing the Aegis from Beastcoast.
It's going to get,
so they can burst it.
He's going to get a bit of a fright there. Puts down the wards. He finds the whole team.
Making it happen.
Actually going to use this 50 seconds or some of the 2 heroes down to maybe just get some pressure onto the tier 2 top.
All right. I thought they would just go straight for that rush because they're going to be respawning soon.
That's the thing, right? Because they can do this like push and then back for rush. I mean, if they just do the tier 2 and back, they should still be able to finish it before the team's up.
One last top tower.
But they do need to get, they do.
Yeah, because they should have a bit of urgency. They don't want to be doing it when Beastcoast are all alive.
20 seconds until Monkey is going to start respawning. Alka's starting to hit Ancients. I feel like his team is telling him, let's go to the rush. Yeah.
I don't want to mess around.
It's a big one, too. It's the Ags. Lots of different potential that they could do with it. Han probably taking that would be nice to have that extra survivability.
There we go. Roshan. Azure.
The Dire begs to do something about that.
And Axe for Planet.
Oh, really? Okay. He hasn't used it yet.
Yeah.
I think they're still debating.
Maybe they're like, indeed, hang on, maybe Han should take this.
They gave it to the bat.
Okay.
They're playing for the double lasso.
I don't mind it. The lassos are pretty game-winning.
Yeah. Oh, DD on Pig, and he's got Lincolns. So double Lincolns on the 2 cores.
Yeah, Beastcoast are running it down the mid. They're crossing over the river.
They have the amp damage, Owen. This Muerto's going to shred a target if they find one.
Lumpy trying to get over to the back lines. He's going to jump straight in. He's in with the balance, but he gets caught by the hexes. He's going to be protected long enough. He is. Whisper rolls forward. They destroy you, and a few hits there from Pake. The Timber Sword disappears. He's even thinking about pushing up to the high ground. Pake turns towards low, but pushing into the high ground like this, a bit too dangerous. So no, they'll step away from now, but you saw there how quickly that Timber Sword went down.
Yeah. Exploded. Even with the reactive, he died right through it. Still positioned in this area. Alchemist used BKB, so 60 seconds. That Low has to be very careful.
I pierced the veil up again in 10 seconds for Pake.
And Lumpy now 25. That additional ring is online. They've got the banner.
Dire structures looking fortified.
And they're throwing the Lincolns onto Pake, so he's got this double protection.
Even though they're the team of the ages, starting the fight into this Muerto is difficult.
Careful.
He's gonna get caught in the root. He's gonna get the lasso.
Got the lasso.
Oh, it's a pretty deep one. It takes Pake up, Pake's able to put the BKB turbo pierce the Veil. Planet's gone. The rest have to run.
Oh my.
Can't roll away.
Planet died in a second.
And now they've considered maybe for round 2. If they surround Han, they get the rolling thunder perfectly over him off the back of the respawn. Han's gone. They have buybacks, but the damage has been done here. They're onto the barracks. See the finish done. He catches up to him. Pake steps up, and Pake whispers out, able to shoot down low. Won't buy back. They're all buying back here. They have to kill Pake. Use him with a chakram. Can they finish off the Muerto? They can. They'll kill Pake off. It's an expensive defense. Will manage to push back Beastcoast. They had to use the 3 buybacks there, 2 of them being that of the cause, Han and Low.
At least they get him. But very, very expensive. The damage that he's doing is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, look at that one, 12k damage done.
I saw like Planet ran in and literally instant died. It's pretty absurd.
And this is before, because next up he's going to get the Swift Blink Pake.
And then
he just jumps in the midst of the fight, and then they're all going to die.
Oh, yeah.
He is incredibly primed for a rampage this game.
A little bit of an awkward play there with that Boundless.
Well, they're looking for him.
They're hunting for him. Gotta watch his tree.
Might be able to grab that Wisdom Rune, though. Lumpy. Easy.
Sure. I mean, he got the one earlier, too. Oh, Whisper.
He's able to roll up and get out.
Lumpy is
He's tempted to start hitting the barracks. Get some TPs out, and he will. A couple of TP back to bases from Azure. I
mean, Azure, they triple bought back. They got the kills, but they haven't made anything happen afterwards with it. Muerta's going to be respawning.
I mean, they've got the tools to make plays. They're new now as well with the refresher. So they've got like double Hex. They've got the Aghanim's Lasso from Bat. They have those hard lockdowns.
They just have to 100 to 0 him. If he gets Pierce the Veil or BKB up, he's going to kill everybody.
And he's going to full
lifesteal as well. Yeah. So it has to be kind of perfectly done, and it's not the easiest thing when you're playing versus double Lincolns. You're playing versus the Ascetic Cap as well. But you can see that the idea that they want. It's just 100 to 0 that target, have that number advantage. But yeah, without these buybacks, these next few moments are very dangerous. Almost 25 on Han. Almost got the Undispellable Magnum.
And what did he... So what, he sold the Mjolnir for the Swift Blink slot? Yeah. Run it. They'll find him. There's surely no saving the Medusa this time. No, that's the support Medusa out for 110 seconds.
And he's very important, it feels like.
The Stone Gaze has been quite a key element of turning fights.
He had a lot of gold, too. He's trying to go for a big item. 90 seconds.
And it's so scary, with this Swift Blink on Pake, he can just jump in and go.
Will there be a double lasso? Can they actually get the catch? Pake, Linkage is broken.
It's going to get buffed up by the second one, yeah.
Well, they have 3 now, so...
yeah, that's true. They're kind of just permanent Lincolns being thrown down onto Pake. I mean, the jump has to be so perfectly coordinated by Azure if they want to try and catch him.
It feels pretty impossible versus triple Lincolns, Lotus, and that Ascetic. Not an easy ask.
Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
Fresher done for Han. That's his gold spent. So 4 minutes for these buybacks.
Trouble brewing.
They have a base ward, Owen. Moose actually got one in. A sneaky one, too. They don't see it. Whisper.
That's why there's going to be a bit of temptation for Pake to just BKB jump in with Swift Blink and pierce the veil.
Because they have the vision. That's the important thing. And now Lumpy is getting set up. Whisper. Pump faking the roll.
See how aggressive Pake wants to play. Get the Fiona side. There's the jump. Looks more news. They get the BKB off. So he'll live that initial attempt by Beastcoast. In fact, Low, he's going to get in. Tries to get in onto Pake, but now has to put the BKB and run back himself. They're going to silence out onto Han.
That's the Alk BKB and Chemical Rage.
Another attempt for Pichu to get a grab. He pots the BKB, but he doesn't get a lasso opportunity.
Oh, that's awkward. Didn't lose their racks. But Beastcoast can probably continue pressuring up here. Actually, BKB is up in 70 on the Muerta.
Azure, they're heading outside of the base, but they're going to have to come back because Beastcoast is going to force them back by hitting the barracks again.
It dies fast.
Dire's top racks. Didn't make it. The Dire
Fortification. Pichu. Looking for a jump. Pakes in. Finishes up the job. He's gone forward. Timberchain trying to find the spots in the backlines. He get the opening hex onto Pake. Han, he's trying to find it. Lumpy up in the trees, but Lumpy's able to jump back to safety. Pake pops the pierce to Veil. Turns over towards Han. They get the bash control on towards Han. Pops the refresher. Trying to roll away. There's the lesson on Pake. And they got the damage to thread the Moitz is healing up from moves with the life drain. Pake will live. Pichu will fall. They're rolling onto the backlines to finally catch that pesky punter. Now with the chakram onto Pake. Pake, he's getting controlled. Hanro's back in. Liu bursts through him. The buybacks are coming out though from Beastcoast. They want to put everything into this fight. Which was controlling low with the bashes. Pake finishes him off. Jumps over towards Liu. They're looking for the cleanup. There's 4 dead on Azure. They don't have buybacks. GG is called. Beastcoast, they take the game, and with that the series 2-0.
The buyback of friend of play. That was pretty beautiful. A nice try, to be honest, from Azure. The way that they multiple jump there, controlling the backline from Han, but they used their buybacks. They ran out of steam. This Muerta just too out of control, and their item builds. I do want to highlight that the triple Linkins, the Lotus, pretty much everything just being thrown onto this Muerta. I think they really.
That is one amazing performance from Beastcoast. They have securely get the 2-0 from battling the Azure. And again, since Azure, I don't know why there is a Medusa, also there is an Alchemist and Medusa. Even if this Medusa is not the original Medusa, not the carry one, it's the support one, but still it's not as strong as the original support. So again, congratulations to Team Beastcoast.